America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Finding him in the water. Skies are sunny at 74 in the Circle City. A high around 88 today. No sign of rain today either. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 9:02. IMPD says they were called to an apartment complex on Indy's Northeast Sunday night right before 7 p.m. A woman said she came home to find her apartment door open and her child missing. She said she then walked around the complex, then made her way to a retention pond with a neighbor. That's where they found the child unresponsive. The neighbor started applying CPR before officers stepped in. The boy was taken to an area hospital where he later died. The father was home at the time of the incident, and IMPD child abuse investigators are now looking into how the boy was able to leave the apartment. A shooting at another apartment complex on the northeast side from this weekend is putting residents there on edge. A 17-year-old was shot and killed early Sunday morning at the grounds inside an apartment that was only being used for a few days. Jade Eilers told Wish TV that neither the shooting nor the short-term rental option should be happening at the complex.
It's not going to be an isolated incident because something like this can happen again when we're not vetting the people who are in our building where we live, and it's our home. Police say the shooting happened early Sunday morning during a party in the apartment. Indianapolis police are also responding to a march Saturday by a hate group downtown. IMPD Chief Chris Bailey released a statement on social media denouncing the demonstration put on by only a few men wearing all black and carrying flags with swastikas on them, stating that it has no place in the community. The average gas price in the state of Indiana today, $3.19 a gallon, according to Gas Buddy. In Indianapolis, gas is $3.22. A historic comeback for the Indiana Fever on Sunday. At one point, they trailed the Connecticut Sun by 21 points before coming back for a 99-93 win in overtime, the largest comeback win in franchise history. Kelsey Mitchell led all scorers with 38 points. She scored 34 of her points in the second half. Aaliyah Boston believes that Mitchell is one of the league's best.
She comes out, she defends, she scores the ball, she plays 40 minutes a game, and it's just like, and she still consistently puts up these numbers. I feel like if she's not MVP, shoot.
The Fever also snapped their two-game losing streak. Next up will be the Minnesota Lynx at home Friday night. And John Rahm is the back-to-back individual champion of Live Golf after this weekend's event at the club at Chatham Hills.
The crowd was amazing. Not only today, all week long. They were fantastic. They showed up. They were loud. They were cheering. It was a lot of fun to be in front of them and perform.
Live Golf also announced they will be returning to the course in Westfield next year with dates set for August 21st to the 23rd. Checking traffic this morning. Hello, Matt Bear.
Hello, Jarrett. Looking at a crash northeast side, northbound 465 at I-69. And the left lane is blocked. Traffic stop and go back to Penn Pike. Delayed time at 22 minutes. South side, northbound 65 slow. Raymond into the south split. Inbound 69 stop and go after 116th Street. 282nd, a 7-minute delay and a stall on the exit. North split style. Westbound 70 going to northbound 65 in the north split slow to rural. Traffic sponsored by Payday, packed with peanuts and filled with golden caramel. Payday is one hard-working candy bar, so grab one now to power you through the day. Payday Peanut Caramel Bar. Get to it. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
When it comes to retirement, it's not just what you've saved, it's what you keep that matters. Howard Bailey Financial invites you to join our free educational event featuring nationally recognized IRA expert and CPA Ed Slott, where he will focus on strategies to help reduce unnecessary taxes, avoid common mistakes, and plan smarter for the years ahead. This event is ideal for anyone in or nearing retirement who wants to make the most of what they've saved. Reserve your spot at the Forum in Fishers on Thursday, September 11th by calling or texting ED to 888-262-1104. Space is limited, so reserve your spot today by calling or texting ED to 888-262-1104. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers and Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Partly cloudy, hot, and humid this afternoon. A high of 90. Heat indices into the mid-90s. Clear, quiet, and stuffy overnight. Lows around 70. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and on WIBC.com. Kendall Casey starts now.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
You know, I wasn't going to start the show taking a colossal dump on the Secretary of State. I was going to hold it off for a few segments. But this morning has pissed me off to the point where the only thing that's going to make me feel better is to do our old-time favorite here on the program, is to point out what a colossal grifter scumbag Diego Morales is. So, Jerry, is it all right if we start with that?
Hey, listen, the listeners don't know the best thing that happened to Indianapolis today was you being locked out of the studio. Because now you are so fired up. All curveballs were coming out firing this morning.
So it is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Yeah, Casey's out today. Jerry Lopez at Indy Spanglish on Twitter in for Casey. Kev is here. Let me tell you about my little drive-in, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. So for years, I have made the same trek to the greater downtown area. And for numerous years, the 9 years I've worked here, the first 7, getting out of my house was of relative ease. It was a fairly simple thing. I live in proximity to the Brownsburg High School. And a couple of years ago, they decided, well, we've got some issues with parking, and we've got some issues with people getting in and traffic getting into the high school. Said, see it every day? Doesn't seem like that big of a deal. No, there's major issues. And now they've created this second road to get into the high school, where before there was no traffic moved in a relatively, there was some minor delays, right?
Sure.
You've got hundreds of
to be
kids
expected
driving in. Yes, that's great. But there was no, it was not like the Dan Ryan Expressway at rush hour in the city of Chicago. And now, since government intervened itself and created this second road, which, by the way, not mine, but people around me, backs right up into these people's backyards, basically.
Oh, wow.
It is like a mile-long stretch of traffic every single day to get into this high school, and now it's affecting everybody in the area. No problem before, everything moving relatively smooth. Now it's just a line of people. And heaven forbid you get at one of these 4-way stops where you just sit.
Yeah.
So I had that experience this morning. Then, about a half mile down the road, the train decided to come. And so there I sat with the train, which I didn't even know we still had trains in America anymore. I didn't even know that was still a thing. But this was the Casey Jones Express. And I sat there for another 5 to 10 minutes. So now I'm about 15 minutes in, and I'm less than a mile. I'm less than 1 mile from my house, and I'm 15 minutes in.
This is not D.C., it's not Chicago, this is Brownsburg.
This is Brownsburg.
This is Brownsburg.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And so then on top of that, of course, you get your normal joy of every road being closed in the greater downtown area.
Who's your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't go anywhere without some road being under construction and it taking you, a good 10 to 15 minutes once you get off the Interstate 70 exit of your choosing to get to your desired location. So what is normally or used to be a 30-minute trip, now, thanks to Joe Hoggs, it is a 40-minute trip. And now, thanks to the Mensa members that run the Brownsburg School Corporation and the town of Brownsburg, it was now a 50-minute plus trip to get to work today.
Yeah,
how about you, Jerry?
Was not that bad at all.
No,
yeah,
and you're coming from Noblesville.
Coming from Noblesville, yeah.
Hell on earth.
Yeah, it was not that bad at all.
It was not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I get to work, and for some reason, and it's always the weekend, people. It's always the weekend, people. I use the same studio every morning, every single morning. It's booked in the computer, in our little register of studio, blah, blah, blah. My name is in there, the Kendall and Casey Show, every day, 8 to 9, it's us. I go to open the door. It's locked.
This is after waiting in traffic for...
The door is locked.
What a morning. What a morning.
And I said, is somebody in there? I'm peering. No, nobody. So that means, first of all, why you would shut the door on your way out when the door is supposed to be open so that somebody can walk in, I don't know. But somebody had to, on their way out the door, decide, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lock this thing from the inside. A deliberate act of malice and or stupidity. Either one. It, once again, Jerry, it ruined my morning.
No, but it made everybody else's better because I cannot wait to get into this Diego stuff.
So two things with our old pal Grifters R Us over at Morales Industries. So I saw this post, and it was from Diego that our comptroller, her name is Elise Nashala. Every year, I think she has some big shindig. She has a very palatial farming estate out in Boone County. And they have some big Republican, hey, Rube, get together, whatever.
Lawn party.
Where yes, thank you. I think that's what it's called. And this is the connected, the wealthy, the everything we aren't, right?
I was invited.
Oh, you were invited.
Yeah,
well, shoot, hot dang.
Didn't go.
You should have gone. I could have been your
didn't,
plus one.
yeah.
They would have loved to have seen me there.
I was during the Colts game. Went to the Colts game Saturday. It was right around the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-ish.
Yes.
Stadium was closed.
So, the roof was closed?
Thought about you when I walked in.
No, it was not.
I walked in, I went, oh, it's closed. Rob could have called this.
So a beautiful August
beautiful day
afternoon.
Yeah.
No rain in the
no
forecast.
inclement weather.
You're not rained on. No. You're not doused in water.
First game, preseason, home game. Yeah.
You know, it's estimated we spent additional $100 million plus for that retractable roof. And so it's, I think what they've counted less than 40 times in the history of the stadium, the roof has been open, and then you're telling me on a beautiful
closed. Yeah, midday, 1 o'clock Saturday.
Yeah, the roof is closed. Okay, very good.
But that's when a lawn party was Saturday early afternoon.
Very good. But my point on this is, it is the people who know what's going on that's at this thing.
Correct.
Right. If you're invited to that thing, you are paying attention, which means you would know. You would be aware of the repetitive bullcrap that this guy, Diego Morales, provides on a regular basis. Whether it is the hiring of family members, whether it is the no-bid contracts, whether it is disappearing to a foreign country for 10 days, whether it is a refusal to say who paid for the trip to the foreign country for 10 days, whether it is then making a ridiculous claim like, I paid the money back, then refusing to provide any proof whatsoever you paid them. But all of the things associated with Diego Morales, everybody there would have known what he is and what he's doing.
Yeah. At this point, there's no way to act like you don't know if you're especially in that kind of circle.
And yet, because he posted about this, what a great opportunity, what a great time Diego had. Because so Diego, one, got invited by this woman, right? Who, if anybody would know the bull crap he's pulling, she has an office very near his. She's in the State House. She would know. So one, they invited him to the thing. And two, it's just one picture after another of him with connected Republican people, which means not one damn person stopped and said, hey, can you just cut the BS and tell us who paid for your trip to India? Not one person there did what I did, which is, and they don't even have to take an entire day to do it. They're at the thing anyway. Not one person said, hey, we all know you're totally full of it and that you didn't pay that money back. Why don't you cut the crap and tell us exactly what went on in India and who paid for it and your buddy Raju's mysterious $80,000 contract and what he was doing there and why a venture capitalist went with you to India. Not one person did that. And so, you know, I was thinking about this. I thought, as easy as Diego is to loathe, as easy as Diego is to despise, because he is a grifter. He is a scumbag. He is a dirtball. He is corrupt. He is unethical. All of those things are true. But, Jerry, you know where the blame really rests? In the Republican Party. Because time after time after time, whether it's Braun, whether it's Rokita, whether it's Micah, whether it's Elise Nashala, whether it's these activist people, they all know what he is. Every single person there knows who that guy is. And the fact that not one of these people, nobody, not named Rob Kendall, will hold this guy accountable means they're fine with it. It's a much bigger problem than the Republican Party. Diego Morales, Diego Morales, it is a Republican Party problem. At this point, Diego Morales is the Republican Party. You can't separate them because they keep condoning, they keep approving, they keep saying this behavior is okay by not holding him accountable.
Well, and the other part of that is when for people who don't necessarily tune in every single day and they see these pictures on social media and they see all these pictures, you're basically condoning all of this behavior 100%. If we're not holding people accountable, then you're condoning it.
Yeah.
Now, those are the options, right? At this point, you can't pretend to not see, not hear, not know what's going on. So if the wheels fall off the wagon, well, aren't you responsible?
Yeah.
If you see the wheels wobbling and you don't say anything, then that's on you too.
Yeah, Elise Nishala, the state comptroller, you're a joke. You're a disgrace. That's ridiculous because she certainly knows what he is. Aaron Houchin, who I see in this photo, professional office hopper Aaron Houchin, you're a joke. You're a disgrace. This is ridiculous that everybody knows what's going on with this guy. Everybody knows what's going on with this guy, and no one in the Republican Party.
We'll even ask questions. We'll even ask.
No.
We're not asking you to do full-blown invest. We just ask in public.
Yeah. How hard would it have been, Elise Nishala, who, by the way, was given her position? She didn't earn it. When the current or the former auditor quit, because she was a Holcomb person. She was in the Holcomb ads, party insider, given this position. By the way, lost at the convention for state treasurer. And then what was her response on, why did I lose? Give me a position. Gimme. That's who the Republican Party is. If they won't hold the worst of them accountable, if nobody will stand up and hold the worst of them, which we all know that's what Diego Morales is, if no one will hold the worst among us accountable, then you are the worst among us. All right. I feel so much better.
All right. Hey, we're off and running, baby.
I didn't even get to...
segment one.
Well, I didn't even get to the other thing that I wanted to scream about, but we'll do that later on the show. You don't want to use all your ammo in one segment, right? All right, we'll take a break. We'll get to all the Trump, Putin, Russia, whatever. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
From red carpets to red states, actor Nick Searcy has seen it all. He starred in the FX TV show Justified and movies like The Fugitive and Castaway. But what he saw in Hollywood and Washington, D.C. changed everything. He'll join Tony Katz for one night of unfiltered stories, sharp insight, and a little bourbon on the side. From Hollywood to the heartland. Saturday, August 23rd at West Fork Whiskey Company. Brought to you by Premier Arms and Boer Remodeling. Tickets on sale now at WIPC.com.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
This is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and Zero Res is celebrating Pet Appreciation Month with something kind of nice for pet parents. Get 3 rooms Zero Resified for $129. Get 15% off pet odor treatments and $50 off air duct cleaning too. Look, pets have accidents, sometimes big ones, messy ones, the ones that make you gag a little when you're trying to clean up. And if you're thinking it's just dogs, cats can absolutely mistake carpets for a litter box. Vacuuming is just not going to fix that. Zero Res can clean virtually any surface in your home. And remember, Zero Res's patented ZR water cleans with no soaps, no residue, no harsh chemicals. And it's clean, safe, and effective, and that's why they have a 4.9 rating on Google with over 5,000 reviews. Just call Zero Res, mention WIBC, you'll get 3 rooms clean for $129, get 15% off pet odor treatments, and $50 off air duct cleaning. 317-388-5141, ZeroResIndy.com.
Why do so many basement companies want half the money up front? Could it be because it's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they don't ask for a deposit until the job is done and you're completely satisfied. They even start with a free inspection to ensure you know exactly what your home needs without the guesswork. With over 35 years experience, they've proven that trust is built on results, not deposits. Michaelis, building trust beneath your feet. Visit michaeliscorp.com.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Guys, Low T Center has improved the quality of hundreds of thousands of men's lives across the country. Now women can enjoy the same life-changing, medically guided hormone therapy.
Imagine how great you'll both feel. FixMyLowT.com for information and to schedule an appointment.
Well, you had a bad morning, too. I feel bad that you just let me rant on about that for all that time when you had a traumatic event yourself.
You know, it's I've been deployed twice. It feels like I'm back in the sandbox right now.
It's the Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob Jerry's in for Casey today. What happened to you?
So I've been on this thing now. I drink a lot of Red Bulls and things like that. Now I'm just like, I'm going to go to stop and grab me a fountain soda. I'll get the big one. It'll last me the whole show.
Are you still done with the smoking?
Yeah.
You've kept going?
Yeah. We're talking about a month, maybe in a couple weeks.
So people don't know, Jerry.
Started around like July 11th, 12th, but right before I went to Tampa.
Yeah. The cigarette tax increase reached a point where you said, this is my price point. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And you're saving all this money, and are you feeling better?
Yeah. Yeah, I eat a lot now. I feel like a little fat guy.
Yeah, I think you just most people go from one vice to the next, right? But anyway, so you have now, one of the things you do is you get a soda on the regular?
Yeah, just grab a soda, grab the big one, just sip on it throughout the day or whatever. But I pull up to the gas station, big sign on the thing that says no straws.
Wait. The gas station didn't have any straws.
No straws.
Now I'm looking at this cup.
Yeah.
And based on the cup, this is a fairly major.
Yeah, it's an extra large.
Well, I'm saying, but like the retailer.
This is a big box store.
Yeah.
You have one in your neighborhood.
Right. So I find it fascinating that there's not some sort of Amazon type instant feature where they can get straws given the relatively close proximity that another store of the same name would be, even if that were, like when I worked at Arby's in high school, like if you ran out of something, there were so many Arby's that you could go just get,
right. There's got to be another one of those within 1 mile of where this one was.
Exactly. But no, you're forced to. So you're drinking this from you're sipping out of the cup itself?
Yeah, I got to take the top off of it. And this thing is huge. So there is a chance at some point, I will be running to the bathroom to wipe my shirt off during this show.
Yeah, it's brutal because now, do you just do this? Well, let me ask you, do you do the same, you get, you just get Mountain Dew or whatever?
Every time. Yeah.
Okay. So what I do, now this probably is a character flaw, but whenever I go to a restaurant and they have the fountain, I mix things together. That way I feel like I'm getting 3 or 4 sodas in the same
You're like an 8-year-old. You're like an 8-year-old.
Yeah, they called it the suicide, the team treat when you would do that. But in my house, I have Pepsi, but I don't have all of these other drinks.
Sure.
But I don't want all the calories that are associated with all these other drinks. So I'll put Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi as the base, and then you can mix all these other things, and you get this super cool Willy Wonka drink that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else.
That is a character flaw.
Is that right? Does that say something horrible about me?
No, I mean, you're living dangerously. Remember when you're 8 or 9, it's you're going to do the suicide and get all of them, and all of a sudden you're the coolest guy on the baseball team.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So coming up next hour, we have a big update on a story that we broke on this program, and that is involving the Sheriff of Du Bois County, Tom Kleinhelter. So if you remember, former State Police Superintendent Doug Carter came on this program, was with us for an hour, and was talking about this investigation into the Sheriff of Du Bois County, who is a close political ally of Governor Braun, who was accused in an 80-page probable cause affidavit while Carter was state superintendent by a decorated state police officer of misusing commissary money. And basically he was paying for his wife to go on trips with him, some other things related to the allegations were made that he was misusing the commissary money. And state police felt like they had a strong case. Carter felt like they had a strong case. Jeff Herron, the officer who was putting the probable cause affidavit together, 80 pages is a lot, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly Braun becomes the governor. A new state police superintendent comes in, and the special prosecutor decides not to press charges.
Yep. These are not the drones you're looking for.
So people were like, "Ooh, that seems like a lot of red flags going on there," with an 80-page probable cause affidavit, which was triggered, by the way, by the State Board of Accounts. This emanated out of another government entity going to state police. Carter came in and said, look, I think there's a lot of shenanigans potentially going on here. And then he was most upset this decorated officer was punished by state police in regards to this investigation. Casey Smith from the Indiana Capital Chronicle has done a fabulous deep dive on this. She has reached out to Braun's people. She talked to Kleinhelter. She talked to the special prosecutor. Casey Smith is going to be with us at 10:30 talking about what she found. So in the meantime, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Josh Bain of the Indianapolis City County Council will be with us. He had a fascinating back and forth with a Marion County Superior Court judge about crime, about how the judges are handling dangerous, violent criminals, about letting them back out on the street. And we will talk with Josh about that back and forth that he had with a Marion County Superior Court judge. Jerry's in for Casey, 93 WIBC.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Hey guys, it's Rob for my friend Mark Deedle. You know, Zillow ranks Indianapolis number 2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with our guy, Mark Deedle. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Sarah in Fountain Square had to say about working with Mark Deedle. After investing in a property in Fountain Square, I ran into some financial trouble and needed to sell the place fast for max dollars. I hired the Mark Deedle team, and they were able to sell my property within weeks over list price. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Deedle at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdeedle.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's looking to make a deal. Partly cloudy, 75 in Indianapolis. A few clouds expected this afternoon with the high being 88. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's 9:31. This report is brought to you by Gutter Helmet. President Trump is preparing to hold discussions with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and other European leaders at the White House today. Talks are expected to begin around 1 p.m. Eastern as the leaders are looking to put an end to the war. Trump met with Russian President Vladimir Putin just a few days ago. The State Department is denying visas to Gazans seeking to travel to the U.S.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio says a pause in visas for visitors from Gaza is necessary to better review who is being approved for those visas amid concerns raised by members of Congress.
There is evidence been presented to us by numerous congressional offices that some of the organizations bragging about and involved in acquiring these visas have strong links to terrorist groups like Hamas.
Rubio on CBS's Face the Nation says it's not just children in need of medical care applying for travel visas to the U.S., but also a bunch of adults accompanying them. At the White House, Jarrett Halpern, Fox News.
And Hurricane Erin in the Atlantic has strengthened to a Category 4 hurricane as the East Coast braces for stormy conditions. Erin became the first major hurricane of this year's Atlantic hurricane season. Over the weekend, it intensified from a Category 1 to a Category 5 in just a few hours, with winds reaching 160 miles per hour. Now your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management. The Dow, little change, just down 7 points, 44,946. The S&P 500 is also down just a little bit to 6,449. And the NASDAQ in the red, 33 points to 23,712. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level on the go and at WIBC.com.
Pat Sullivan here for Gutter Helmet. Are you still putting screens on your gutters? You know, if the holes are too big, debris gets in and you're still cleaning your gutters. If the holes are too small, it sits on top and now you're cleaning the screens. I have Gutter Helmet on my home and it has no holes, slots, or screens. It keeps the debris out and the water in. Since 1981, Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection. Right now, Gutter Helmet is offering a 17% discount plus 12 months, no interest financing if paid in full within 12 months. Call 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, to schedule a free estimate. 17% off, restrictions apply, and cannot be combined with other offers. Call Gutter Helmet today at 800-5HELMET. That's 800-5HELMET, or gutterhelmetindy.com, and never clean your gutters again.
Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down.
Don't let pneumococcal pneumonia break your stride. If you're 50 or older, you're at increased risk. So be proactive with Capvaxive pneumococcal 21-valent conjugate vaccine to help protect against invasive pneumococcal disease and pneumonia caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive helps protect against the strains of bacteria that cause about 30% more IPD cases than any other pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in adults over 50, according to national-level CDC stats. Regional variations may exist. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Capvaxive does not protect against all strains. For more information, call 1-800-927-8888 or visit capvaxive.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Need help paying for your Merck vaccine? Visit merckhelps.com. Sponsored by Merck.
Wherever somebody's fighting for a place to stand, or a decent job or a helping hand, wherever somebody's struggling to be free, look in their eyes, Ma, you'll see me.
So I think we can all agree violence is still out of control in the city of Indianapolis. The question is, with all the focus on the mayor and the prosecutor, what role do the judges play in it? Our next guest, he's trying to get to the bottom of that. 93 WIBC, it's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Jerry Lopez at Indy Spanglish on Twitter, in for Casey. Josh Bain, he is a Republican member of the Indianapolis City County Council, and he had a fascinating back and forth with a member of the Marion County Superior Court. And he joins us now, and I think he's trying to get into something interesting, which is with all the focus on the mayor, the prosecutor, how much of the blame rests with the judges. Josh Bain joins us now. Josh Bain, hello.
Hey, good to be with you.
So I want to play you a little bit of this. Our old pal Stephen Whitmer and the fine folks over at Indy Reporter posted this at Indy_Reporter_. And this was a back and forth that you had with this Marion County Superior Court Judge, Mark Rothenberg. And before we play this audio, I want for you to kind of set this up for us. Is that what you were trying to do here? Because you guys at the City County Council, you fund the public courts. Were you trying to get into what role the judges play in letting these violent offenders back out on the streets?
Yeah, for sure, because at the end of the day, it's judges that are accepting plea deals, accepting plea bargains, setting bail, sentencing people. So this is really the crux of the argument. I've been saying this for years, that even if we ever win the prosecutor's race here in Marion County, it's still a major uphill battle.
Yeah, so Rothenberg has been a Superior Court judge for a long time. I think 15, 16 years now. And you were grilling him on these things. And I'm just going to play a little bit of this audio, and then we'll sort of do a deep dive, because I thought he said something interesting, and I want to give you a chance to respond to that.
Humanity is difficult to deal with, but you have to look at the empirical evidence that's in front of you when you deal with this. Sometimes you have to make tough choices, and you have to make those tough choices as a judge. Remember, as I said, redemption, rehabilitation is the primary goal as set out by the Indiana Constitution. And we have to keep that in mind in every sentence we make, right? It's easy to say, hey, we should lock up as many people as possible because our city is dangerous. And dangerous people should be in jail. I don't disagree with that. I've lived here all my life. But there's also the presumption of innocence. Everyone is entitled to a bond by the Indiana Constitution, a reasonable bond. I would say that our bonds in Marion County are similar, because we've looked at them off many, many times, similar to the other counties in the state of Indiana and the donut counties in the state of Indiana.
Does he have a case? Josh Bain, member of the Indianapolis City County Council, does this judge say, look, I'm just following the law and the Constitution as it's set forth, or are there problems in his theory there?
Well, I think he's following his judicial philosophy. I mean, when it comes to sentencing people, I'm like, well, sometimes people just need to be put away because they're heinous, violent people. And, the problems with our Superior Court, it's with our Circuit Court as well. I mean, for example, the next judge that got up and spoke was the judge that presided over the death of the 5-year-old girl, Zara. And she literally sat in a courtroom and told this mom to quit making complaints to DCS about the dad, and then the dad tortured the 5-year-old girl shortly after that and killed her. So, and there's no accountability. Like, these judges, no one can hold them accountable. We can't hold them accountable on the City County Council to a large extent. I've been doing a deep dive because, the only time these judges even come before us is during the budget season. And even Judge Rothenberg, was getting sassy with me at the beginning of my questioning, because he's like, your questions don't have anything to do with the budget, even though all the Democrat councilors before me were asking about things that didn't have to do with the budget. He knew where this was going. And that's why from the very beginning, he was, trying to be, tough. He was trying to be, contemptful and everything. And, we're just not going to put up with it anymore. At least the Republicans aren't. I mean, and at least I'm not. We're done saying that these judges have all these independence and everything. They're going to have to start being held accountable.
Josh Bain is our guest. He's a Republican member of the Indianapolis City County Council. We're talking about the court system and the role they may be playing in out-of-control violence in the city of Indianapolis. So these judges, explain to our audience, because many people, this is their first introduction to these sort of things, which is why it's great that we're able to do it. These judges are elected?
So they are appointed.
They are appointed.
Yep. We have a different system here in Marion County. The state has stepped in a few different times when it comes to Marion County judicial selection. And then there's a presiding judge, and, they have terms in office. So Judge Rothenberg is currently the presiding judge.
Appointed by, okay, so you've gone where I wanted you to go. They are appointed by who?
So there's this committee of people made up of, like, appointments from the state legislature and such. And then there has to be a political partisan balance to it as well. And that's why, here in Marion County, we don't really do direct elections for all of these judges.
So I think that's where some people's frustration is. And you have, I don't know if you intended to do it or not, but you are doing great for the radio segment. You're going exactly where I want you to go, Josh Bain, which is if outside influences have control over who is appointed, we can't even really blame the voters for this. As you're saying, people at 200 West Washington, our state capital, have a role in this. Why aren't we getting better people in this position? What do we have to do to get people who will take this, I guess, more seriously, for lack of a better term, when it comes to keeping violent offenders behind bars? What do we have to do?
Yeah, and I'll say this. I'm someone that's pretty much done a complete 180 on this. When I was first elected to city county council like 6-ish years ago, I would always tell my state representatives and state senators that, people in Indianapolis, they need to live with the consequences of their actions. There are retention votes for judges, but I mean, we can all laugh at that. There's no such thing as a retention vote. But I always told them, there was one time there was a bill for the governor to appoint the chief of IMPD, and I was like, hey, that's too far. People need to live with the consequences of their actions. They vote for this. They vote to retain these judges. Let them live with it. And then over the past year, I've done a 180 where it's like people are not living with it. People are dying with it. We have kids dying. We have kids being tortured in their homes because of this nonsense that, there's just no accountability. So that's why I've been doing a deep dive this year. We have still about a month or so before the budget will come back, and we're going to have time to offer amendments. And when it comes to their pay, their staffing pay, all that's set by state statute, but they receive a lot of money in grants, Rob, and I mean a lot of money. And it does look like we have some discretion over those grants. So it's one of those things where if you want these grant dollars, we're going to have to start seeing some accountability. And one other thing I want to touch on too, because it's getting in the news so much, is the juvenile crime in our city is obviously out of control. And our chief has been asking for years for them to share data for kids, for juveniles. If you pull over a 17-year-old, they could be on probation. They could have a terrible criminal history. We don't, and an IMPD officer who's making that detention is not able to look at that information. They do not receive that information. The courts do not share any kind of information like that, even though they're allowed to, like they're supposed to, and they're refusing to do it.
Josh Bain, member of the Indianapolis City County Council, is our guest. Just a couple minutes left here with you. So are you coming out and saying that you now would support the idea of some sort of state takeover, at least of certain parts of Indianapolis government?
I think we have to, Rob. I mean, what in Indianapolis are we doing well? It's a good question to ask, right? And if you look at the mayor's speech that he gave a couple weeks ago, everything that he pointed out, he would talk about economic development. Everything that he pointed out was either city funded or backed by city bonds. Our roads are completely collapsing. Kids are in the street shooting and killing each other over who knows what. And we're just all sitting here. There's no accountability for these judges. So that's why, we really need the state to come in. City council, again, we have some say over discretionary budgets like grants and whatnot, but for there to actually be a true systemic change with our court system, it's going to have to come from the state level.
Real quick before I let you go, do you think, based on a lot of people said that were in that room the other night, Hogshead is running for a fourth term, you're on the city county council, what say you?
I did not think that he gave a speech from someone in the lame duck of a third term who's not running again. I think that was a speech from someone who at least is not planning on going anywhere.
Very good. Well, that'd be very bad for us, but very, very good from you, Josh Bain. You always do a very good job. Josh Bain, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon. Nobody has more fun on the radio than we do. It's Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford will join us, and the biggest stories in Indy.
Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down.
Don't let pneumococcal pneumonia break your stride. If you're 50 or older, you're at increased risk. So be proactive with Capvaxive pneumococcal 21-valent conjugate vaccine to help protect against invasive pneumococcal disease and pneumonia caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive helps protect against the strains of bacteria that cause about 30% more IPD cases than any other pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in adults over 50, according to national-level CDC stats. Regional variations may exist. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Capvaxive does not protect against all strains. For more information, call 1-800-927-8888 or visit capvaxive.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Need help paying for your Merck vaccine? Visit merckhelps.com. Sponsored by Merck.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fisher.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
No one will love your HVAC system as much as we do. Call Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing for an honest assessment on your current AC system or get a great deal on a new one. Howald Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, where coming home never felt so good.
Do you have an idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You know the face, now hear the stories. Actor Nick Searcy from Justified and Castaway joins Tony Katz for one night only, August 23rd, to talk about how Hollywood and Washington, D.C. led him to the heartland. Tickets at WIBC.com. Presented in part by Premier Arms.
So this woman has come up with a business model that fascinates me, and she's making apparently gobs of money doing this. And Jerry, I got to get your opinion on this. It's the Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Jerry Lopez is in for Casey today. You find him on Twitter at Indy Spanglish. Kev is here. So the New York Post had this article, and I thought this would be perfect for our show. I'm going to read you the headline. All right, are you ready for this?
Ready.
Suspicious women hire me as honey trap to test if their boyfriends will cheat. It's shocking how fast men fold. So this is I think what most people would say is a very well-assembled woman. And basically what happens is women who suspect their gentleman caller might either be currently cheating or prone to cheating hire this woman for as much as $5,000, and it is her job to try to get those men to cheat. And the theory is if they can resist her, there's no woman that a man will actually cheat with.
I mean, it's just so much to unpack here. If you have to hire somebody to see if your partner will cheat, your relationship's already over.
Well, that's a fair point. I mean, that's probably very fair that if you're to
that point where you're going to give some lady $5,000 to see if she can sleep with your man, your relationship is already dead.
Well, and here's the thing. I don't think she does any actual sleeping. I think she just gets them to the point, like she gets it all on record. Like, this is a great business model.
Like arrange a meetup, and now you were going to meet. Your relationship's already over.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great business model for this woman because I don't think she does anything other than just take photos of herself and
Yeah, but take
maybe
it
videos.
one step further. Let's say that you passed the test.
Yeah.
And then you find out later that your wife hired this lady to try to entice. Like, wouldn't you be a little upset?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you are
this is lose for everybody.
Yeah, and that's you're right. I mean, if you're to that point, the relationship either, I mean, even if your person isn't cheating, you're already to the point where you think he's cheating. So there's nothing that's going to convince you otherwise with future people.
Right.
You're going to just keep hiring her.
Yeah.
How does that?
Great
work?
business model by this lady, but anybody that's paying for these services is already lost.
Yeah. So, okay, here's the one thing I would say is the flaw. Now, clearly, there's not a flaw in the business plan because she's apparently making lots of money
Right.
doing this. And as kind of bizarro as this is, it's, I guess, theoretically way better than like OnlyFans.
I was going to say, I was just literally in my head going, but it's better than OnlyFans.
Because she doesn't really do anything. Like, I mean, she just takes photos
ruining relationships
of her
that are already ruined.
Right. If you're a dude, though, okay, unless you have a bank account that rivals the size of Bezos, Musk, Gates, Zuckerberg, this woman is not into you. What man is actually falling for this? Wouldn't
A lot of dummies.
Wouldn't that be a colossal red flag that this broad is pretending to be interested in you?
We just talked last week about some AI person that somebody
that's
fell in love
true.
with. People are just starving for attention, I think, and they're willing to throw away it all for a little bit of attention.
Yeah, like if this person, Jerry, you've seen the person in question.
Yeah.
If she slid into your DMs,
I'm too good for her,
Kevin,
dude.
have you seen this woman in question here? And look, Kev is a good-looking single guy. He's in a band. He works at a radio station. Kev's got a lot going for him.
Yep.
If this woman, even with you, Kevin, having a lot going for you, showed any interest in you whatsoever, or you, Jerry, whatsoever, you're two unmarried guys, wouldn't you say, what does this person want with me? Wouldn't that be your first reaction?
I mean, no. I don't know if you've seen me, Rob. I mean, pretty as a dime a dozen. She might be a psychopath and a hoarder. Like, now I'm 44 years old, dude. I've never dated a girl who I didn't think was pretty, so you got to bring more than that.
Well, but I'm saying, like,
But those girls don't typically jump into a dude's DMs. They don't have to.
That's right. See, that's the point. The fact that she would instigate
weird.
a conversation with a man, I guarantee you, at no point in this woman's life has she ever instigated a conversation with a man. No. She was never the first person to say something.
I agree.
Kev, would that not be a giant red flag if you would be like, what do you want?
Yeah, it would definitely raise an alarm.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's out there. That could be a reverse position for you, Spanglish. You could be hired by men to see if their wives are cheating. I mean,
there's a chance.
You're a celebrity now.
There's a chance. Yeah. No, you know how bad I would feel doing anything like that? It just sounds like a horrible person thing.
Well, I think she justifies it as I'm saving women from future heartache. I think that's how she's justifying it to herself, is that she is...
Listen to this sentence. The influencer, 29, who $150,000 of online funded curves turn heads. Come on.
Her quote was, "It's wild how many men don't even hesitate to give in to temptation. I don't reach out to anyone on my own. These women come to me, and honestly, I get it. I'd want to know, too." So, there's a market for everything, and this is out there. So if some very well-enhanced woman slides into your DMs today, first of all, if you're that big a dummy to think that would happen organically, we got a fine piece of swampland in Jersey we want to sell you. And two, just know that this woman's out here making bank off of your inability to keep your, as one of the guys that got caught on to Catch a Predator one time described it, keep your jeans in your jeans.
Yep, it's a trap.
How about that? Your jeans in your jeans. Okay, let's take a break. Jerry is in for Casey today. We got a big hour coming up for you. Coming up at 10:30, Casey Smith from the Capitol Chronicle is going to be with us. They did a big expose on this whole Tom Kleinhelter saga about the state police 80-page probable cause affidavit. He's the DuBois County Sheriff, which was accused of impropriety with commissary money, close ally of Governor Braun. We'll have her to talk about that. And then we're also going to do a deep dive on all things Rubio. Was all over the talk circuit yesterday with the big Trump-Putin meeting. Trump and Zelensky are supposed to meet coming up here within a couple hours, perhaps. So we'll get you the latest on that. It's going to be a big hour radio. Jerry's in for Casey. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten, classics are remixed, bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
Community Health Network cares for your heart health. From heart scans and vascular screenings to complex heart procedures, you can count on our expert team for the highest quality cardiovascular care, when and where you need it. Your path to a healthy heart starts with knowing your risk. Schedule a heart scan or vascular screening today. Visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care. Simply delivered.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
It's Pet Appreciation Month at Zero Res. Get 3 rooms clean for $129, 15% off the pet odor treatments, $50 off air duct cleaning. ZeroResIndy.com.
Constipation with belly pain that keeps coming back and back and back. If your symptoms keep coming back, talk to your doctor. It could be irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C. Linzess could help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at GotYour6.org. Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at GotYour6.org.
In 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers studios, what IMPD is trying to figure out in the death of a young boy. The reaction from a tenant at a northeast side apartment complex where a fatal shooting occurred, where a fatal crash happened over this weekend, and how Pacer star Tyrese Halliburton is giving back to a place special to him. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. Time for Fox News. It's 10 o'clock.
Great honor for America. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what President Trump posted on Truth Social, writing, "Never have so many European leaders come to the White House at one time." He'll meet with them this afternoon after a sit-down with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, days after the Trump meeting in Alaska with Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
I'm told the Europeans are very keyed in on the security guarantees that Trump has put on the table, which they view as the most material success of his summit with Putin. They really want to preserve it.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House.
There are some signs that Ukraine might be having a hard time backing off its demand for a ceasefire as a condition for peace talks after a series of deadly overnight Russian strikes. Zelensky, who is already in D.C., said the Russian strikes ahead of today's meeting are symbolic and, quote, that is why Russia should not be rewarded for its participation in this war. That last line could be a sign that Zelensky is rejecting Putin's proposal to freeze the front line if Ukraine hands over control of the Donbas region, which Russia has not been able to conquer militarily.
The families of 50 hostages still held by Hamas in Gaza have sent President Trump a letter urging him not only to end the war in Ukraine, but also end the nightmare in Gaza. But Israel's working to escalate the war there, which led to big demonstrations against that across Israel.
Protesters block roads and highways, with Israeli police eventually moving in, making arrests, and even using water cannons in some cases to get the crowd to move. Many businesses were also closed. Demonstrators are calling for a ceasefire as they worry the continuation of the war will only lead to more hostages being harmed or killed in captivity.
Fox's Jeff Paul in Tel Aviv. 2 police officers are dead in Utah, and a sheriff's deputy was wounded along with a canine cop. Shot responding to a disturbance last night in Tremonton.
After firing upon these officers and police service dog, the suspect was convinced to put down his weapon by bystanders, and he was immediately taken into custody by additional responding officers.
Brigham City Police Chief Chad Reyes. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Investigating a young boy's death. Mostly sunny, 75 in downtown Indy. The high around 88 today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Officers being called to a northeast side apartment complex Sunday evening just before 7 for a report of a missing child. The mother told officers she came home to find her child gone. She checked her door cam footage and saw that the little boy had left on his own. That's when she went out to look for him, eventually getting help from a neighbor who located the 3-year-old unresponsive near a pond. CPR was administered and the child taken to a hospital, but he died there. Police say the father of the child was home at the time of the incident. CPS is now in contact with the family as the investigation continues.
Waking up to that and knowing that there's Airbnbs happening in this building, and that was not something I was made aware of.
That's Jade Eilers speaking to Wish TV about a shooting in her apartment building recently along Central Avenue on the near north side.
I was scared, and it makes me really uncomfortable, and it makes me want to move right now.
The victim has been identified as Xavier Whitlow. He was 17 years old. Police say people were having a party in an apartment that was only being used short-term when the shooting had occurred. A person is dead from a multi-vehicle crash on the city's southwest side from Sunday evening. IMPD responded just after 5 near Kentucky Avenue and South Lyndhurst Drive, finding a black pickup truck and a white hatchback. The man driving a hatchback was unresponsive and later pronounced dead by medics. Indiana Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton not forgetting where he came from. He's giving millions of dollars to Oshkosh North High School in Wisconsin, where he went to school. The donation is to cover some big upgrades, including a new scoreboard.
I think that's just the most important thing. Anything I can do to help out this school or this community in general, I tend to jump at the opportunity to do.
Over the weekend, Halliburton gave thanks to his teachers and coaches that he spent time with growing up at the school. Kelsey Mitchell with the game of her life for the Fever on Sunday.
Handoff, Kelsey. No look pass in the corner. Odyssey pumps extra. Kelsey, 2 on the shot clock. Rise and fire. Got another! Kelsey Mitchell is cold!
John Nolan with the call on the Indiana Fever radio network as Mitchell tied her career best with 38 points. 34 of those came in the second half. At one point, the Fever trailed the Connecticut Sun by 21 before mounting a historic comeback in a 99-93 win in overtime. The Fever will have the Minnesota Lynx at home Friday night. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Kendall and Casey back in 1 minute.
It's time. You've been putting off that kitchen or bath remodel long enough. What are you waiting for? Get started today with Boer Remodeling. Boer Remodeling customer Kathy had a bath remodel with Boer. Kathy, talk a little bit about your experience.
Our experience with Boer has been terrific. The process was so easy and seamless. When we decided to do a larger remodel of our first floor, Boer was the first company we thought of hiring.
And were you happy with the results?
The results are amazing, and we are so happy with our home and the work that Boer did.
Peter is another another recent Boer Remodeling customer with a new kitchen. Peter, what was the best part about working with Boer?
We especially liked the active participation that we were able to have in selection of stone for the countertops. Really came out beautiful. The cabinets also came out very, very well.
The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. They'll guide you through the entire process. Start with a free consultation. Talk to Boer Remodeling today. That's BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers and Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
So big day in Washington, D.C. as Trump and Zelensky and other European leaders are set to meet here coming up later in the day. Obviously, Friday, it was Trump and Putin in Alaska. And I'll tell you what, Jerry, they did something smart over the weekend, they being the Trump administration. They kept Trump away from the reporters as far as I could see, and they sent Rubio to the talk show circuit, and he is really good at his job.
Oh, he might be one of the best people at his job within this administration. I don't think you're going to be very hard pressed to find a better person in a position in this administration that's better than Rubio.
Yeah, I mean, he is perfectly fit for that position. There's a lot of people Trump has that he appointed him or picked him because it's like, oh, there's celebrity or whatever. And I think Rubio is actually really good at that job. And so he did all the talk shows over the weekend. I mean, he was on like 4 or 5 of them, and he's just a really good consistent messenger. And what will be fascinating, aside from, we'll play some of this audio here from Rubio over the weekend, but what will be fascinating is as we look to the next election, because I think Rubio now and Vance are the two most closely associated with Trump. And if you're a Trump-only type of voter, those are probably the two guys you're going to look at. And it will be interesting to see how that, because both of those guys want to be president.
I'd add DeSantis to that list, who's kind of Trump-light.
Yeah, the problem for DeSantis is his campaign was so bad the last time. And you're looking at 2 years where he won't be in the spotlight. Like, he's not going to be able to do anything from a governance perspective. But yeah, I agree. I think those are I think it's those three. If DeSantis gets in, and then everybody else. But man, Rubio is just perfect. Like, we're going to play you several of these clips, and the consistency in the messaging and the way he relays it is so good. So the first one is from Fox News. He was on with Maria Bartiromo and was talking about, and this was a wide-ranging interview, but he explains, because Trump is the left, some of these squishy Republicans, they're up in arms that Trump even took the meeting. And I thought Rubio did a good job of explaining why Trump took the meeting with Putin.
If at some point it becomes clear that both sides are so far apart and so dug in that we're just not near a peace deal, then the president will have a decision to make about how much more time do we invest in it and what actions does he take then. But I want everyone to understand, if this morning the president woke up and said, I'm putting these terrible, strong sanctions on Russia, that's fine. It may make people feel good for a couple hours, but here's what you're basically saying. You're saying talks are over. For the foreseeable future, for the next year or year and a half, there's no more talks, because there's no one else in the world that can talk to him. Okay, Putin's not going to meet with Macron. He's not going to meet with the UK. With all due respect to these leaders, none of these leaders are going to be able to bring him to the table and talk to them. There's only one leader in the world that has any chance of bringing these two sides together. If there is a chance, there's only one leader in the world that can do it, and that's President Trump. And you forfeit that role the minute you put additional sanctions on him. We may get to that point, unfortunately, but if we do, it means that peace talks are no longer possible, and that would be very unfortunate. Because the real world ramifications are that while we're here calling each other names and doing TV interviews about this stuff and all of that in American politics, there are people who today will be injured and killed in the battlefield and in cities, in Ukraine, on the front lines, and even in Russia.
Yeah, I mean, he's spot on. And I get that most people that are, like, mad that Trump met with Putin, they're doing it for political posturing, political points, whatever. But it's ludicrous to think you're going to solve this issue without Putin being a part of the equation.
Right. And he's right. The only person that can hold this conversation is Trump.
Sure.
And the best thing that Trump could do is just not talk to reporters, like you said. It would go flawlessly.
Yeah, let Rubio do the talking. He's great. Trump will negotiate some sort of deal. But like Putin knows the world is not going to send troops into Ukraine. And as long as the world's not going to send troops into Ukraine, then Russia will forever, at worst, be able to stalemate the Ukraine. They have grown over the past several years in small margins. They've been able to, I think, quote unquote, win the fight, although I think it's been, a relative draw with the other countries supplying ammunitions, et cetera. But like, how would you, and on what planet would this thing get resolved without Trump and Putin sitting down?
Hey, the most gangster thing I've ever seen in a long time was when Trump was greeting Putin, and then the stealth bomber and the 4 jets fly right over Putin and Trump, and Putin takes kind of like a step back, and Trump kind of grabs him by his arm, kind of like, I could have had you there, bub. Gotcha, bub.
Okay, so Rubio, then he was on Meet the Press. My gosh, the CBS and the NBC shows, they're so bad. I mean, these hosts, you think about at one point the some of the great names that have been Tim Russert, et cetera, and it's like these people are just awful. But he was on Meet the Press, and he was talking about the idea of a ceasefire, which he says is still on the table, but the ultimate desire is to end the war.
Is a ceasefire now off the table, Mr. Secretary?
No, it's not off the table. I think what the president said, in fact, you just read it on the air a few moments ago, it was agreed to by all that the best way to end this conflict is through a full peace deal. There's no doubt about that. I mean, who would be against the fact if tomorrow we came to you and said we have a full peace deal and it's done? I think that's the best way to end the war. Now, whether there needs to be a ceasefire on the way there, well, we've advocated for that. Unfortunately, the Russians, as of now, have not agreed to that. But the ideal here, what we're aiming for here is not a ceasefire. What we ultimately are aiming for is an end to this war.
Like, this question is just ridiculous. Are you saying a ceasefire is not? Of course not. But that's like, why would you even waste your time focusing on that? Clearly, this thing is going to go on, whether it stops and starts. Ask Israel and Palestine. These ceasefires, they mean nothing. It'll start up again. Like, it's just like the questions from the mainstream national media on this, Jerry, they're just, these people are ridiculous.
I think the sad reality about media in this country is it's so polarizing. It is black hats, white hats. They cannot give Trump a win, even if it's for the betterment of our country. And there's a lot of people on the right that will not give a win to the left, even if it's for the betterment of our country regardless. And I think it does us all a disservice.
All right, so a couple more clips here from Rubio. And again, like I said, they ought to just let him talk on everything. Trump should just never talk in public. I want to go back to that interview with Maria Bartiromo, and he being Rubio, addressed the idea that the media, the left, tried to make this a big deal that no deal was made, right? And he addressed the ridiculousness of anybody walking in there thinking a deal was going to be cut in this meeting with Trump and Putin.
First of all, if you recall, there's no way you can have a meeting like that. And we never said there was going to be a deal coming out of the meeting because the Ukrainians are not there. This is a war between two countries. It's not America. It's Ukraine and Russia. We met with the Russian side. We've spoken repeatedly with the Ukrainian side. We'll see them again tomorrow in person along with our allies in Europe. So I do think some progress was made in that talk. In terms of narrowing down the issues set, and now these are hard issues that remain. You know, the conversation about where the territorial lines are going to be, questions about long-term security guarantees and who Ukraine can have military alliances with, things like that. These are difficult things, but I do believe we made progress in narrowing down the issue set, but there's a lot of work that remains. There's a reason why this war has been going on for 3.5 years. It's a war that never would have happened had President Trump been president, but he inherited it, and now he's trying to do everything he can to bring about peace. He's made peace a priority of his administration, as you've seen with all the peace deals we've been able to achieve throughout the world. This one's the hardest one. Everyone acknowledges that. But he's the only one in the world that has any chance of doing it. Look, peace may not be possible at the end of the day. We don't know. But if it is possible, he's the only one that can get it done.
I think the one thing that Trump did that was a massive mistake is on the campaign trail said, I'll solve this in 24 hours.
Well, he said that about everything.
Well,
and that was it. Yeah, Epstein, all of it, 24 hours, and he didn't deliver on any of that.
None of what Rubio is saying is remotely bad or unreasonable or anything. The only problem is we're 8 months into Trump being president, and now you're just now getting down to this, and he made the definitive statement, right? So when you do that, and I guess you got to try to win campaigns, and so much of what Trump says is hyperbole or whatever, but he really makes himself look foolish when the fact that they're grinding so hard 8 months into this thing.
Yeah, and to me, it's really hard just as a vet. These two guys are going to meet to have a meeting, and not one of them is just going to square off from the other one. And you have people that are out dying for your causes, and you guys can sit down and cordially have a meeting?
Well, and
that's hard for me to understand. You're the one sending people to die.
I want to play one more clip here, and then I'll address that. So Rubio was on ABC. Like I said, man, he hit all of them. It just boom, 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 boom.
He sent the right guy.
And yeah, absolutely. And he rejects this idea that the left's trying to say that this meeting, to come bring full circle on this, that this meeting elevated Putin.
I mean, critics of President Trump are always going to find something to criticize. You don't even pay attention to it anymore. But I will tell you this. Putin is already on the world stage. He's already on the world stage. The guy's conducting a full-scale war in Ukraine. He's already on the world stage. He has the world's largest tactical nuclear arsenal in the world and the second largest strategic nuclear arsenal in the world. He's already on the world stage. When I hear people say that, oh, it elevates him, well, all we do is talk about Putin all the time. All the media's done is talk about Putin all the time for the last 4 or 5 years. That doesn't mean he's right about the war. That doesn't mean he's justified about the war. Put all that aside. It means you're not going to have a peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. You're not going to end a war between Russia and Ukraine without dealing with Putin. That's just common sense. I shouldn't even have to say it.
He's right. It's and I get this all the time when we have people on that like our audience doesn't like, and they're like, I can't believe you would give that person a forum. Why? They exist. It's like it's the equivalent of saying with Vladimir Putin that if Taylor Swift's people called and said, will you have Taylor Swift on your show? And we had Taylor Swift people would say, I can't believe you would give Taylor Swift, who's a big lefty, a forum. As though people aren't going to know who Taylor Swift is if somehow she's not on the Kendall and Casey show. It's the same thing here. He's a guy. He exists. He is the number one part of this equation since the U.S. ain't involved in the war from a troops perspective. Whatever Putin decides to do is how this thing is going to go, and he can make it go as long as he wants to go because he knows nobody's going to put ground troops in there against him. It is so ridiculous. I can't believe that they would elevate him like that. Everybody already knows who he is.
I mean, it's really up to Putin when this is over. When he decides it's over, it's over. Until then, he's just going to be bleeding American taxpayer dollars in the Ukraine because they got us fully funding this war.
Hey, speaking of Russia and Ukraine, you will love this next segment. Some Ukrainian sniper allegedly did something, and I've got to ask you.
And I don't know if I believe it.
Oh, I was going to ask you.
I don't know if I believe that.
Okay, we'll get into it when we come back. Jerry's in for Casey, 93 WIBC.
Sun's up, the coffee is brewing, and Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the Morning News. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Grown-ups,
steps. Don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
Give your home a transformation with incredible savings at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Hey, this is Spencer Thompson, and now through Monday, it's the Smith Brothers of Bern factory authorized sale. Save 50% and you can save up to an additional 20% off your purchase. Enjoy free delivery, interest-free financing, and cash discounts. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Call today or go to bwindow.com and receive up to 50% off plus a free patio door.
Because at
B-Window, we mean business.
Okay, so I think this segment's going to be fascinating, and I'm glad Jerry is here today. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Jerry's in for Casey because, as we laid out last week, you were a member of the U.S. military.
Correct.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Remember,
even though I was a contractor there at the end.
Some guy got mad because at the end you were a contractor. Yeah. Why are we thanking him? Okay, so the Sun, that's a British paper, I think.
Yeah,
publication.
Yeah.
The Sun has an article claiming that some Ukrainian sniper set the world record by killing 2 Russian soldiers with a single bullet from 2.5 miles away. Now, we did the math on this because I looked up how many yards are in a mile. And according to the internet, that's 1,760 yards. So to break that down, that's 17.6 Lucas Oil football stadiums. Like you go to the Colts game, the length of that field, it's 17.6. If you multiply that by 2.5, you come out to what, 43, 44. So this guy allegedly killed 2 people with 1 bullet from 44 Lucas Oil foot. Can you imagine if you lined those up?
2-point-something miles.
How long that would be to give you? That's the best perspective I can cut. Like, I live in Brownsburg. It's like shooting somebody in Pittsburgh.
I mean, imagine driving your exits in 2 miles. He shot from there and hit somebody at the exit.
That's what I'm saying.
That is. So I call BS. This
didn't
didn't happen. This didn't happen. I mean, I don't think it happened because I just saw a special. As soon as I saw it on the thing, I was like, that seems far. So I'm comparing this to the longest one we had in Afghanistan. Afghanistan was a sniper war. It's all mountainous. It's not like Iraq. Iraq was urban fighting.
Right.
Afghanistan, you get killed by somebody you don't even know is around you. Right?
Yeah.
The longest confirmed kill.
That's because of elevation.
Mountainous terrain and all that.
Right.
So the longest confirmed sniper kill in Afghanistan was made by a British soldier. And his name was Craig Harrison, who eliminated 2 Taliban insurgents from a distance of 2,700 yards, which is 1.5 miles. That is nothing compared to what these people are alleging happened.
So this would be an additional mile on the all-time
high from Afghanistan
record.
And that guy said when they shot this sniper bullet, there was a 10-second flight time.
What?
So they shot the bullet. 10 seconds later, the target drops.
Hit the target, right?
Yeah, 10 seconds later, it hits the target. There's no way he killed 2 with the 15 to 17-second flight time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, and I get that there's all this new technology with weaponry and they can do amazing things, and I get all of that.
That's far.
That just seems very far.
Far. I mean, there's no other way to say it. That is far. 2.5 miles.
Okay, so can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did you ever, when you were in service, because I know one of the reasons you were picked and you did 2 tours in Iraq was because you looked the part.
Yeah, I could mingle.
You could go amongst the people.
Yeah.
And so basically what they're saying is the Cuban refugees look the same as the Iraqis.
As the Iraqis,
Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
Did you ever have to use your weapon on someone of the other side whilst in combat?
Definitely. But our theory was all like, you never want to die for your country.
Yeah.
Like you want the other guy to die for his, is what we used to say. Right.
So there was never, I mean, obviously, like they train.
It's kind of like the Ukrainians and Russians. Like they don't know each other.
Yeah.
But you're here fighting, and I want to go home.
Did you have to be did you have an instinct that? Did you have an instinct that I could take another man's life, or did that have to be instilled in you by the military?
All training. It's all training.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
you don't
all
even
training.
think about it by the time
you can't think about it because then we'll all die.
Because it's like I could take somebody's life if they were threatening me. Like if someone broke into my house, I would have no problem shooting somebody and whatever, right? Like if somebody is threatening, and I guess in a weird way, that's what they're doing, right? They're threatening you. You're sent there by your country.
Right.
They are threatening you. They would kill you. So it's really not that much different.
No. One of us is not going to make it home.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But so like to your point about the training aspect, it's if you and I are walking down some road somewhere and you get hit by an IED, you step on something, it blows up, boom, you're gone. I can't sit there and start crying.
Yeah.
If I do that, we're all going to die. And it's immediate, go back to your training. All right, what do we do? This, you don't even think about it.
Thank you for your contracting.
I appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Casey Smith from the Indiana Capital Chronicle is going to join us. They have a huge update on this case. We broke the story here at Kendall and Casey a few weeks ago involving Tom Kleinhelter, who is the Du Bois County Sheriff, a big political ally of Governor Mike Braun. He was accused of impropriety related to money from the jail commissary fund. Former State Police Superintendent Doug Carter came on our show and felt that there were some serious red flags into this guy getting cleared by a special prosecutor. And then the detective the state police officer who investigated the case got punishment from the state police. I mean, it's a incredible story, and I cannot believe it really wasn't until Carter came on our show that this sort of blew up across the state. Anyway, Casey Smith from the Capital Chronicle has a big update on this. She's talked to Braun's people. She's talked to Kleinhelter. She's talked to the special prosecutor. And so we'll talk to her about that. Coming up next, Kendall and Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
As kids go back to school, it's time for you to go back to confidence. We Grow Hair Indy helps men and women regain youthful hair with the latest technology in hair restoration and hair transplants. Back to school season isn't just for the kids. It's time for you to go back to confidence. Visit WeGrowHairIndy.com or call 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995 for your free evaluation today. 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fisher.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. And man, I'll tell you what, Universal Windows Direct has an incredible deal.
For you, good through 8/31/25.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. And man, I'll tell you what, Universal Windows Direct has an incredible deal going on right now. And what a better time. I mean, it is still hot out there. And you know, before too long, it's going to be cold. So whether you want to stay cool for the remainder of the summer or warm in your home all winter long, new windows from Universal Windows Direct might be just the ticket, and what a great time to do that. Listen to this deal. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next. So if you need 8 windows replaced, you only pay for 4. It's that simple. Then on top of that, no interest for 5 whole years. That's right. That's 60 months of zero interest financing, which makes upgrading your home not just smart, but affordable
2. Now, some restrictions may apply. So to get all the details and most importantly, schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation in-home estimate, call Universal Windows Direct today. 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Check them out on the web. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
An important meeting at the White House. Partly cloudy, 77 on Monument Circle. 88 is the high today. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's now 10:30. President Trump is preparing to hold discussions with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and other European leaders at the White House today.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt tells me this morning that the president invited everybody here because he remains more determined than ever to end this war. One challenge, though, today appears that it might be getting Ukraine to back off of its demand for a ceasefire first after Russia killed at least 10 people, including a 1-year-old girl, and injured dozens more in a series of strikes that happened overnight. Zelensky, who's already in D.C., posted this: Putin will commit demonstrative killings to maintain pressure on Ukraine and Europe, as well as to humiliate diplomatic efforts. That is precisely why we are seeking assistance to put an end to the killings.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich reporting. Talks are expected to begin around 1 p.m. Eastern. Officials in Tremonton, Utah, providing an update on 3 police officers who were shot overnight, 2 of them fatally. Brigham City Police Chief Chad Reyes telling reporters an officer was responding to a call of a domestic disturbance when he began speaking with a male suspect at the location. The chief says the suspect emerged from the house and fatally shot the officer, as well as another officer who was responding to the incident.
A 3rd officer deputy from the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office had also been dispatched to assist, and as they arrived in the area, the suspect fired several rounds into the deputy's vehicle, striking the deputy and the deputy's police service dog.
The 3rd officer and the service dog were eventually transported to emergency services. Both are said to be in fair condition. A migrant truck driver is arrested and faces deportation after dashcam footage showed he attempted to make an illegal U-turn in Florida, resulting in a crash that killed 3 people. The man was able to obtain a license in California thanks to a law passed there in 2013, allowing residents of the state to obtain a driver's license regardless of their immigration status. Multiple states have adopted similar policies, arguing that undocumented immigrants are going to drive illegally anyway. The migrant has been charged with 3 counts of vehicular homicide. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Have you tried Wings Etc's new ranch fire sauce? House-made ranch with a fiery kiss of fresh ground habanero peppers and garlic. New ranch fire on our hand-breaded chicken sandwich? Big flavor. On a jalapeno bacon burger? Big flavor. On anything, wings, fries, pretzel bites? Big flavor. When you want to dance with spicy ranch, come to the folks who've been flying the big flavor flag since 1994. Wings Etc. We got your big flavor right here. Visit wingsetc.com.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is 0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year, or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Join the Home and Garden Show live this Saturday at Nature Spire, Carmel's only plant boutique. Plants, moss art, and more. Register to win the Classic Pumpkin Package giveaway. 421 South Range Line.
So it's a story that broke here on Kendall and Casey, and now another news outlet here in the city has done a deeper dive. 93 WIBC. It is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Jerry Lopez in for Casey. And, of course, we're talking about a couple weeks ago when former Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter came on this program and talked about an investigation into Tom Kleinhelter, the sheriff in Du Bois County. And Kleinhelter was alleged to have committed some improprieties related to money being spent in the commissary. It sparked an 80-page probable cause affidavit from the state police. And then early this year, once Carter stopped being state police superintendent, the investigation went away. And the Indiana Capital Chronicle has now done a deeper investigation into this, a deep dive. You can read about it now over at indianacapitalchronicle.com. And Casey Smith, who wrote the story, joins us now. Casey Smith, hello.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay, so you guys, look, Carter came on our show and basically said, hey, this thing really stinks. We felt we had a strong case against Kleinhelter. Braun becomes the governor. Braun is super close with Kleinhelter. The case goes away. What did you guys find as you did your deep dive? Because I know it was a sort of a team effort over there at Capital Chronicle when you started diving into this case.
Yeah, so we obviously heard the former superintendent's interview with you guys, and given that he was formerly the superintendent, that he was the longest serving, had a lot to say. And when you bring the governor into this, and there was a lot that was said, we wanted to look deeper into kind of what happened. I hadn't heard of this case or incident down in Du Bois County before this. So obviously immediately went to try and figure out, A, what happened with the investigation, what involvement, if any, was there with the governor's office or other agencies, and what happened with the special prosecutor. There were all sorts of different pieces of this, and so we got some additional information at the end of this from the state police, for example, about the discipline that the second investigator on the case that he faced. I did talk to the special prosecutor down in Orange County, who was the one who was considering criminal charges against Sheriff Kleinhelter. Talked with lots of other folks just to try and get a fuller picture of what did or didn't happen. And what we've kind of got in the piece is we did get the probable cause affidavit. And so we did get a chance to look at that. We looked deeper into the investigation that ISP did. Again, tried to get to the bottom of why charges weren't filed. But at the end of the day, the governor's office has vehemently denied any interference in this, and that from what we gathered at the end of the day, I can't tell you why exactly the special prosecutor down south made the decision not to file charges. She didn't think, what she told us was that she didn't think that there was enough to file criminal charges, and that she had those concerns for months and months before. In February of this year, she ultimately decided to not file.
Casey Smith is our guest from the Indiana Capital Chronicle. They have a big expose up now on the case of Tom Kleinhelter. Of course, if you're familiar with that, that's because we sort of broke this story. Former State Police Superintendent Doug Carter came on our program several weeks ago and talked about this investigation into the Du Bois County Sheriff and how he really felt that the current state police, in addition to this special prosecutor down in Orange County, dropped the ball. So that was what was interesting to me, Casey, was Huddleston, the special prosecutor down in Orange County. She did tell you, hey, I didn't think there was enough to go forward with it, but she didn't really, from the article, go into any sort of detail on why.
No, and I talked to her about this. She did make pretty clear when I spoke to her that she didn't think there was enough for criminal charges, and that she said that she had those concerns for several months. So not to get too into the weeds on this, definitely should listen back and read the story. But this was a month-long ISP investigation that had started initially back in July of 24. There was an investigator switch up in September of 24, and Holly told me that as far back as that September, when she was meeting with investigators, that she wasn't sure if there was going to be enough here. And that was kind of the extent of what she explained to me. Didn't go into any other details.
So real quick, I just kind of, because there's so much, and obviously we spent a whole hour with Doug Carter, so we'll try to do this here with you in about 10 minutes. But just for people who may not be familiar with the case again, basically this sheriff, Tom Kleinhelter, who is a political ally and by all accounts close friend of Braun, the governor,
was accused of using money out of the commissary, which is the jail fund, to take these trips, and he took his wife on the trips with him, and it flagged an investigation from State Board of Accounts. State Board of Accounts ended up turning it over to in the hands of Indiana State Police, ended up in the hands of the special prosecutor, and ultimately they put together an 80-page probable cause affidavit. Now, you touched on another thing with this, which obviously, given this guy, Kleinhelter's relationship to Braun, people were concerned about that. Braun says, hey, we didn't have anything to do with this.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very firmly. So, yes, no involvement. This was the special prosecutor's decision to make. Didn't have anything to do with it. And just to know, it was for this all also came out of a State Board of Accounts audit initially, and that's kind of what flagged. That's how this got forwarded over to state police investigators. And it's like what you said. It was use of those commissary funds for I don't remember verbatim what it was considered, but unauthorized use of those funds for his wife to travel with him to these conferences. And then there were also some gift cards and blacktop grills that were purchased. And so that's kind of what got flagged there in terms of his spending.
Carter basically told us, he said, look, I don't know if this is directly how he was quoted, but this is what I recall being, and people can go back and listen to the interview. Everyone should read your piece. He basically said, well, the excuse is the guy paid the money back. But he said, if I rob a bank and then I put the money back, as I recall, he said, it doesn't mean I still didn't rob the bank. And you didn't get any feel from the special prosecutor on why she felt that didn't rise to the level of criminal behavior.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's laid out in the probable cause affidavit, too, is maybe some different things that were happening around the time or between the time the State Board of Accounts flagged the spending to when it got paid back. That's kind of what the investigator was trying to get at, is there was some more intent here to move money around in different ways. But again, it's based on what the special prosecutor told me, based on the public statements that she put out. You're exactly right. It seems to be that because the money was eventually paid back, that maybe kind of closed the book on this. Now, that doesn't. Some other folks I've talked to have said, okay, well, criminally, sure, but I guess technically the county, the commissioners, there could still be some civil liabilities there if they wanted to, but I've not gotten any indication that that's something on their mind.
Casey Smith from the Indiana Capital Chronicle is our guest. Just a couple minutes left with her. She's got a fabulous new piece out on a story we broke here on the Kendall Casey Show, in which his former state police superintendent Doug Carter raised big concerns about this investigation into Tom Kleinhelter, the sheriff of Du Bois County, close political ally of the governor. I think the thing that Carter is very upset about, I think he's very upset that the charges weren't filed, but I think he's also very upset that Jeff Herron, who he felt is a phenomenal state police officer who investigated this case, got some discipline from the Indiana State Police. Can you tell us what you found out about that?
Yeah, this is Jeff Herron, by the way. This is the same guy who, now these are two different magnitudes of cases here, but Jeff Herron is the same guy who led the Jamie Knoll case down south. That did later lead to, obviously, but that is still ongoing. But when he was the second investigator to get put on this case, he kind of did a mini version of that investigation he previously did. He put this giant probable cause affidavit together. He talked to lots of folks. He was building a case here. And when this past February came along and the decision was made by the special prosecutor not to file charges, he was upset. There's contention over an email that he sent to her after that decision was made. But there was also what we ended up finding out when we got the disciplinary records from the state police. So there was some discipline related to that, just non-professional conduct is what they're saying was in that email. we read the email. I think anybody could read it both ways, depending on how you read it. But then he was also disciplined for sharing the probable cause affidavit without permission from the superintendent of police. And he shared that with, I believe, a county commissioner and a county councilman. And so they considered that a violation of state police rules and regulations. So he was disciplined for that. He was suspended for a couple of days. But I think even more critically, what Doug Carter has especially taken issue with is this is one of the state police's, best investigators maybe ever, and he went from doing that kind of work to kind of being put in a nothing, I guess, quote unquote, a nothing type of position in a basement where he works for the Fusion Center. And he also cannot teach at the Law Enforcement Academy anymore, which is, I think that's important to them. And so that was another thing that Doug and others have taken issue with.
Well, look, I've been trying for years on this program to get Nikki Kelly to offer opinions on things, and she won't do it, and I'm sure you won't do it either, so I'm not even going to try. But I do want to say the piece is phenomenal, and I think you got to all the players, and I think you took it a step further than what we did on this program. Look, I think there's, as we talked about earlier in the show, I think there's still a ton of red flags out here about this. But you guys, the Capitol Chronicle, you guys always do excellent work. And Casey Smith, this is no different. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thank you as always.
Yeah, it's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, President Trump meets with Zelensky and European leaders. Can they get Zelensky to make the deal? After the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
Christine said, I highly recommend this company. They did my garage floor and I absolutely love it. I'm planning on having them do my patio in the spring. Don't wait. Call them today, 317-751-9070. That's the number for Galaxy Concrete Coating. They can turn any concrete surface into a much better space. Find them online, galaxyconcretecoatings.com, or call them 317-751-9070.
Are you a person that has questions about God? A person who has questions about the Bible? Of course, we all do. That's why Life Church has an incredible opportunity. It's called the Alpha Course, where they go through the Bible with no questions off the table. It's a 9-week class, and it starts Monday, September 15th. It's 9 Mondays with a deep dive on God, on the Bible, no questions off limits. If you're interested, you can text ALPHA, A-L-P-H-A, ALPHA, to 317-961-8330. That's ALPHA to 317-961-8330. Or log online to register, lifechurchin.com.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. And using your FSA or HSA funds, you could save up to 30% off. To find out if you're a viable candidate, request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-348-2596. Instead of masking the symptoms, it resolves the problem at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Find out if you're a viable candidate today. Request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics, 463-348-2596, 463-348-2596.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Everyone knows that PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is the place to get one-of-a-kind jewelry pieces. Diamonds, gold, gemstones, watches, everything. But PA Jewelers at the farmhouse is also the place to sell your jewelry, your watches, your coins, or bullion. PA Jewelers has the best prices and the best payouts. And they walk you through the process so you know what your pieces are worth and what you're getting. PA Jewelers at the farmhouse, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg, or online at pajewelers.jewelry. That's pajewelers.jewelry. When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Booher, B-O-O-H-E-R, BooherRemodeling.com.
You know the face, now hear the stories. Actor Nick Searcy from Justified and Castaway joins Tony Katz for one night only, August 23rd, to talk about how Hollywood and Washington, D.C. led him to the heartland. Tickets at WIBC.com. Presented in part by Booher Remodeling.
All right, so he has an update on a topic that Jerry and I delved into earlier. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Jerry Lopez in for Casey. Jason Hammer, hello.
Hello. So you guys were talking about how Spanglish went to the gas station to get a big fountain beverage, and they didn't have straws.
Yes.
So I feel like this is kind of my wheelhouse here. Mm-hmm. I am a convenience store aficionado. I think it's a little ridiculous. I do not have an endorsement with GetGo or Wawa or Speedway or somebody.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to be your Huckleberry because I go to these places. But what I have found, and maybe this is my side of town, I don't live in fancy schmancy Noblesville or Brownsburg like you guys
fancy,
do.
Yes.
I'm a Marion County
kid.
kid.
You've been to my house. Very fancy.
But it seems like they've taken the straws away from the fountain machine and they put them up by where you check out to pay.
Yeah.
Because I've been told by one of the clerks, drug addicts come in and just grab straws by the handful and just take them back for various drug activities. So I would assume that means snorting stuff, but I also don't know enough about drug use. I'm sure there's probably other things.
Now, you have been associates and roommates, et cetera, with people who would know about that, but you personally don't know.
Right. I used to live in a house at Ball
What are you,
State.
a cop, Rob? What do you mean?
Some of the most.
He's going to tell you the story. What do you mean?
Oh, I told this on the air.
He's told the story on the air before. What do you mean by a cop?
I lived with 6 other roommates, and I was like the choir boy out of that group, right? And I did some living back in the day. But I'd come home from class one day, and these were the type of dudes that would be cooking drugs. Like, I don't even know how you do that, right? Yeah. Something you would see like Loke Dog doing and Don't Be a Menace,
there it
right?
is, yeah.
He's got the chef's hat on, and like, yeah, they're making stuff I've never heard of before.
Jerry, you ever done a drug that would require a straw of any sort?
And I can neither confirm nor deny the existence of anything that requires a straw. But no, I mean, I don't know why you would go to a gas station and grab a handful of straws if that's what you were doing.
What, these bums, though, that would take them, then they take them back to their bum community.
And trade your straws out for things. That I get. I almost had to drive all the way to Wisconsin just to grab a straw. It was the dumbest thing in the world.
By the way, did you see that they're not tearing down the Fountain Square homeless camp now? That's going to stay up.
Yes, there's more there now than there was before the Come to Jesus letter.
Bum community made me think of that.
Paying rent and straws now.
They got all Jerry Straws over there right now.
I'm on my way, Fountain Square.
You were fascinated with another story we did earlier about the lady who's making money trying to get men to. She's hired by women to try to get their boyfriends or husbands or whatever to cheat on them with her.
So it's this smoking hot smoke show chick. Looks like some sort of AI Instagram model almost.
But she's real.
But she's real, and her job is to go out and try to bang your husband or bang your boyfriend, right? That's what she gets paid to do.
Because if you can resist her, the theory is you could resist any woman if you can say no to her.
Right. So, and I heard you talking about how maybe we should put Jerry out there to do this. Maybe, we'll find out what ladies are cheating or not. And then the genius panel turned on inside my head.
Yes.
What if we had a whole WIBC branch of that?
Oh.
So, ladies, if you've ever, wondered what it would be like to have a romantic encounter with Tony Katz, could you imagine? You hear a knock on the door, and he's dressed like Deuce Bigelow. He's got the flowers, the shirt's unbuttoned, and it's Tony Katz, and he's ready to take your girl out, maybe for a night of Pound Town. And maybe it's Rob Kendall. Maybe Rob shows up at the door. And I asked Crystal about this earlier, the coupon lady, and I said, hey, would you be okay if I volunteered my services? She was like, just be home in time to cut the grass.
That's funny.
I kind of get the impression it's just you'll be on top of somebody else for a change.
I mean, it's ridiculous that we live in a world where this exists, but if you're this lady, it's like she's not doing anything. She's just probably sitting at home in her pajamas because she's not dressed the way she is in those photos, and yet she's getting
what a great gig.
And it's more acceptable than OnlyFans.
Yeah, I'm not mad at this woman at all. That's like the dream job. She's going to make 6 figures going around banging other people's dudes.
We don't even think she's even going that far, just flirting.
She doesn't even show up to dates.
Setting up a
She
perspective.
doesn't have to go that far, but, once you get to the point of no return, why are you going to turn back?
Well, look at that. Like we said, though, shouldn't the red flag be unless your wallet is the size of a Musk or a Bezos or whatever? This woman's not going to have any interest in you. Shouldn't you, if you have an IQ above 7, shouldn't there be a giant red flag? Why is this person talking to me?
Point of order. We've all been to a gentleman's club at some point in our life, and we've all got that one friend that thought the stripper was into it.
That's fair.
I got news for you.
I have a friend that married one.
The stripper's not into you.
Yeah.
She's
friend
into
from
your
the
wallet.
service. Friend from the service.
How did
married
that
one.
go?
They got divorced, and she cleaned him out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was a
So
strip
pretty
club,
much as anticipated.
Strip club by the Army base. She knew what the deal was. Let me grab one of these GIs and it's game over.
Yeah, I knew a guy. I wouldn't exactly say it was a friend, but I knew a guy who engaged in I guess you'd call it or in his mind it was a relationship with someone in the dancing industry, and once the money was gone, she disappeared, and he was like all just broken up about it, and it was like, that's what she do, dude.
I taught my kids at 13, when you go to the strip club, listen, they're not into you. This is lessons you can take when you get your first fake ID like I did and you start going to these joints. They're not into you. Go there and have a good time, but they're not into you.
I had a friend who for years ran various known dancing institutions here in the greater Indianapolis area. And he used to say the girls who made the most money were not the best looking ones or the best dancers. It was the ones who could sit there and talk to these guys because that's what they were paying for.
Low key, I love how Rob is the conservative
Did
one.
you hear the way he's worded that twice?
He's got a friend that's done everything. I could talk about some guy that chopped off 3 heads. I once had a friend that may or may not have chopped off 3 people's heads. Rob knows everybody that's done something shady.
Yeah, and it's what I do. Rob and his shady friends.
Shady Rob.
Hear my wife know. I bet you're going out with your shady friends again. All right. Hey, what's coming up this afternoon?
IMPD Chief Chris Bailey will join us. We'll talk Indiana Nazis and some other stuff. Monday Gun Day with Guy Relford and biggest stories of the day.
It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep Central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, the tragic death of a 3-year-old boy. What the mother told police she saw when she got home Sunday. How one resident at an apartment complex where a shooting took place over the weekend is reacting. What AES Indiana is seeking to do. And who is hot in the Fever's come-from-behind win Sunday against the Connecticut Sun. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
A Trump-Zelensky meeting. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Ukraine's leader will be at the White House in a few hours. President Trump posted he knows exactly what he's doing. This days after his summit in Alaska with Russian leader Vladimir Putin, who continues to wage war on Ukraine with another drone and missile barrage hitting Kharkiv hardest.
They say that as many as 7 people are dead, including a 1-year-old girl. More than a dozen people are wounded as rescue teams continue to search through the rubble this morning. Kharkiv is Ukraine's second largest city. It's located in the northeastern part of the country, near the border of Russia. Now, further south, attacks caused fires to break out in Zaporizhia. The regional governor says that the Russian strikes killed 3 people and wounded about 20. More attacks also took place in areas like Sumy and Odessa as well.
Fox's Alex Hogan. Now, President Volodymyr Zelensky posted on X, Russia must not be rewarded, pushing back on proposals to give up territory, adding Ukraine needs reliable security guarantees, and he can talk to leaders from NATO and Europe about that. They will join the 2 presidents at the White House after their initial meeting this afternoon. A sheriff's deputy and a canine officer, both recovering in Utah. They survived a shooting last night, but 2 Tremonton police officers did not.
The male opened fire on the officer, striking and killing the officer. A second officer with Tremont and Garland Police Department responded to assist the first and was immediately fired upon by the same male suspect.
Brigham City Police Chief Chad Reyes says that suspect was arrested, now charged with aggravated murder. The Democrats who left Texas to block a congressional redistricting are expected back today for a new special session, which would allow Republicans to finally vote and approve it.
They're trying to make this return out to be a victory lap, claiming they got everything they wanted out of their 2 weeks in hiding. California now moving ahead with putting together its own new congressional map that would create 5 new Democratic districts to potentially cancel out what Republicans are doing in Texas.
Garrett Tenney, America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Multiple investigations now at Indy Apartments. Partly cloudy skies at 79 now in the Circle City with a high of 88 today. No rain in the forecast either. I'm Jarrett Lewis. It's 11:02 now. A 3-year-old boy is dead after leaving an apartment and ending up in a nearby retention pond. IMPD officers were called to an apartment complex on Indy's northeast side Sunday. The child's mother said she came home to find her apartment door open and the boy missing. She and a neighbor ended up finding the boy unresponsive near the water. The neighbor started applying CPR before officers stepped in. The child taken to an area hospital where he later died. The father was home at the time of the incident, which is now under investigation. Crime scene tape is up at an Indianapolis apartment after a shooting. Some neighbors say short-term rentals may have played a role. Ryan Hedrick reports.
I was scared, and it makes me really uncomfortable, and it makes me want to move right now.
That is Jade Eiler. She told Wish TV Sunday that her lease does not allow short-term rentals, but some people ignored that clause in the lease when they let people in their apartments Sunday for a party.
It's not going to be an isolated incident because something like this can happen again when we're not vetting the people who are in our building where we live.
A 17-year-old boy shot over what police believe was an Instagram and beef Xavier Whitlow. He was 17 years old. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indianapolis residents can weigh in on AES Indiana's proposed 13.5% electricity rate hike at two public meetings this week. The utility company says the increase is needed to cover rising costs for materials and infrastructure. Fever guard Kelsey Mitchell leading the team to the franchise's largest comeback win Sunday against the Connecticut Sun.
Made big shot after big shot, big play after big play. She didn't settle. She stayed aggressive. She willed us.
Head coach Stephanie White following the win. The Fever forced overtime and then won the game 99-93. Mitchell tied a career best with 38 points. Indiana takes on Minnesota at home Friday. John Rahm going back-to-back as the individual champion of LIV Golf. His performance Sunday at the club at Chatham Hills in Westfield gave him the title yet again. He gave a shout-out to the fans of Westfield for showing out this whole weekend.
The crowd was amazing, not only today, all week long. They were fantastic. They showed up. They were loud. They were cheering. It was a lot of fun to be in front of them and perform.
LIV Golf already announced that they are booked to come back to the Westfield course next year in August. The dates are August 21st to the 23rd. And the Colts are signing cornerback Xavier Howard to the team. The 32-year-old previously played for the Dolphins. I'm Jarrett Lewis on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Summers in Indy are great, but don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Don did. He called Rhino Shield.
Well, the home was built in 1948. Paint on the aluminum siding was peeling, and I couldn't find anyone who would repaint it until I called Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield's better than paint. And the crew?
Painted all my aluminum siding, and I've got a front porch that runs the whole length of the house, and all the pillars and everything. And once they were gone, I couldn't even tell that they were there.
With Rhino Shield's 25-year transferable warranty, you'll never have to paint your home again. And right now, you can get 10% off the regular price.
Well, I've told a lot of people, do the Rhino Shield. It's really a great product, and if you don't want to paint the house, that would be the way to go.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino!
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers and Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Can we talk about my koozie for a second?
Let's do it. Let's see it.
I mean, because I paid good money for this koozie.
Hold that thing up so YouTube chat can see your nice koozie.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this koozie that I was gifted yesterday. Now, I've paid for this koozie. I was gifted by somebody something that I've already paid for.
Oh, okay.
And that is apparently, and people have sent me numerous pictures and correspondence of this, our esteemed grifter-in-chief, the Secretary of State, Diego Morales, is just handing out taxpayer fund. I mean, I guess they're taxpayer funded. There's nothing that says this is a campaign expenditure of any sort. There's nothing that says, Diego for whatever. And it's got the Indiana voters thing on it. He is handing out, I guess, taxpayer funded knickknacks at the state fair, in which the biggest thing you see is his name.
That's smart. I hate to say it, but smart. Especially if
it's disgusting.
It is disgusting. But if nobody's going to hold you accountable, then.
Yeah, I mean, this is my point. Like, so this is a koozie, like you'd put a...
That's a campaign thing, even though it doesn't say it's campaigning. It 100% is campaign.
Of course it is. It's and I saw clips and all sorts of other stuff that he was giving away. People were sending them to me on social media, where apparently we as taxpayers are paying for this guy, and I'll hold it up here on the YouTube. Again, if you want to just put Kendall and Casey and you can come watch us on the YouTube. This guy, we are paying for this guy to have his name emboldened on various trinkets, knickknacks, whatever. And you're right, Jerry. The public is paying for his campaign material.
Yeah, it's not like it's an ode to the state or an ode to the office. It's an ode to Diego himself.
Like what? So the excuse he uses with the $90,000 car is, I need to go to all 92 counties. Everyone needs to see me. No one needs to see you. There's nothing you're accomplishing in those counties you couldn't do via Zoom. But at least you can come up with an excuse that I'm out and about meeting with the public, right? What possible excuse could there be for taxpayers to pay for a koozie with your name on it? Like what? IndianaVoters.com, like that's a good use to promote Indiana voters. Like, Okay, fine. If you want to say that. Okay, on the back is the thing that says Secretary of State, IndianaVoters.com. But there's nothing that says, register to vote today. Your name is the thing. It's all about your name. And yet, for some reason, the Indiana General Assembly, who claims they couldn't pay their bills this year without raising taxes by $1 billion, the same General Assembly who claimed we were too broke as a state to pay our bills without raising taxes by $1 billion, thinks it's fine to give Diego Morales money to put his name on koozies or clips or whatever. How is this okay? Jerry, explain this to me.
I mean, it's not, but nobody's going to do anything about it. The moment you shut up, the moment this all goes away, Rob, I hope you understand that, and I mean that completely. The moment you stop talking on these airwaves, all of this goes away for them.
So let's explore this for a second, though. They all know what he is. Every person in that building knows what a fraud, grifter, corrupt, unethical person Diego Morales is.
And if they don't agree with that, they're not willing to take the step to prove you wrong, because that's very important as well.
Yeah, I would challenge any we all know Diego's not coming in here, but any member of the General Assembly, Democrat, Republican, any person who wants to come on here and make the case and say, Rokita, Braun, any person say, Diego Morales is not a totally grifter, fraudulent, unethical, corrupt person to come on here and make that case. And yet, nobody will speak out about this.
I will tell you this much. If you were talking about me the way you were talking about Diego, and I knew you were full of it, man, I would come up here so quick just to shut you up. If I knew I was above board, oh, you're shutting up. And the fact that nobody's come up here and put a stop to this tells me a lot of things.
And it's not like it's him or nobody. David Shelton is running against him at the convention next year. He's a totally competent guy. He's the Knox County clerk. He would be a fine administrator of that office. He's actually qualified to run that office as an elections administrator. It's not like you have to take Diego. They could put a pressure campaign, a media publicity campaign that would totally take down Diego. So by the silence, you are left with no other conclusion but that they are not only fine with it, they being the General Assembly, they being Todd Rokita, they being Mike Braun, they being Micah, Dan Elliott, DeShala, the comptroller, all of these people are in on it with him.
Yeah, and people in the YouTube chat saying, don't forget that the Secretary of State's office sponsored the $2 Tuesday as well.
People were sending me all of these signs that he had all over the state fair.
And you don't even vote for him.
Well, you do.
Well, you do now, I guess.
In a general election. No, you don't at a convention. It's the delegates, right? Why is this okay? When will someone, raise their hand? And where are the Democrats? At best, from the Democrats, guys like Ed Delaney will depants him when he comes in for his budget meeting, which is why he didn't show up for the one in the Senate. Oh, that, and he was in India doing who knows what. But where are the Democrats? This is a made-for election issue for you guys. Every conversation the Democrats should be having right now should be about talking about how corrupt, unethical, underhanded, deceitful this guy is.
But you have to be careful because so many people with the big dollars have already backed him. Right? It's kind of like we talk about the Trump thing. People are scared to speak up because once you get out of line, you're going to be ostracized. Not saying it's not the right thing to do, but when the AG's already come out and backed him months ago and put money towards his campaign, and so has everybody else from the top, do you really want to be, what do they say? The tall blade of grass gets cut. And you have to have enough cojones to stand up and say, I'm willing to fight for myself, my constituents, my kids on what's right. And if you cut me, you cut me. But I'm going to go down morally and ethically clean.
Yeah, but we all know. That's fine on the Republican. I mean, it's not fine.
It's not fine.
But on the Democrats,
this is all the ammo you need, brother.
Exactly. And now, of course, the big rumor is Bo Bai, Evan Bai's son, is out hitting the political trail in some capacity. He was the big speaker at their event down in French Lick. He seems like he would be about as A+ of a candidate as the Democrats could ever get. And if indeed the rumor's true, he's going to run for Secretary of State. This could be your path back to some level of relevance, right? If you're any of these people in the State House, why aren't they speaking out? And it is so laughable with guys like Rokita, who the paperwork shows fired the guy from the Secretary of State's office. Almost 20 years ago, Rokita knew what he was. And then you're out endorsing this guy You're giving him money. And the only logical conclusion we come to is that State House is so corrupt, and the money that flows to so many of these politicians. Yes, Stephen is the. By the way, I told Stephen Whitmer he needs to drop the name Stephen Whitmer and just go by Indie Reporter, like Cher, or Madonna. Yep. Just become a name. That's just your name now. Stephen doesn't even exist anymore. Just be Indie Reporter. Indie Reporter's right in the YouTube chat. Diego was getting a heavy flow of donations. All of a sudden, it stopped. That's very interesting. But also, the money that was going to Diego, we have found that so much of it touches all of these other politicians. That's the only logical reason. That the State House now is so corrupt, that the State House is so bought and sold. The Republicans in there, Braun, Rokita, all of these people are so bought and sold, and they're so beholden to this money that comes into Diego that they are incapable of doing the right thing on your behalf. Not on my behalf, not on Jerry's behalf, your behalf as a taxpayer. Because this guy, he just campaigns 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's all he does. He's just running a 24/7 campaign.
Sounds familiar.
Operation.
Sounds familiar. Do you think people like that join to make money, or do you think they get there and realize, holy crap, I can make a lot of money?
Well, I think there's a mixture of people. I think Diego has been a shady grifter for a long time. How do you vote? When Diego ran for Congress, he voted in a county different from where he takes his homestead credit. This is the guy that's supposed to be in charge of elections, and he doesn't know where to vote? How do you vote in a county different from where you take your homestead credit? Exactly, right? There is no answer for that. There's no logical answer for that. This is the guy that's in charge of elections. I think guys like Diego have always been grifters, and they've always been shady. But I think there's a bunch of people who go in well-intended. I think there's a bunch of people who go in wanting to do the right thing. And I think I had this conversation with somebody the other day. I think the pressure from the donors, from the
that's
lobbyists.
Huge. The donors and the money. It's the money. The pressure from the money to keep the money, right?
And then the leadership, because they know where the money flows and how it flows, they bark on you and we'll primary you. We'll do this. We'll treat you like John Jacob or Kurt Nicely or any of the, we'll put, they put $1 million in to defeat those two guys in a primary.
Yep.
Not in a general election, in a primary. I am so sad that someone like Diego Morales, who just totally abuses what the office is supposed to be and what's it's supposed to be about and what it's supposed to represent, is allowed to just waltz around and no Republicans will speak out on it. Nobody will raise their hand and go, enough is enough, cut the crap, knock it off. And we're not even talking about the India stuff right now. We're talking about this.
Yeah.
What possible reason, as a taxpayer, is me paying for this guy to have his name on a koozie? Is that a benefit to me? And by the way, if it's not me as a taxpayer paying for it, then where's the disclaimer? There's no Diego for Secretary of State or whatever should be required to put on any sort of campaign material. So there we go. That's what your money's going to, and the Republican Party is just fine with it. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
From red carpets to red states, actor Nick Searcy has seen it all. He starred in the FX TV show Justified and movies like The Fugitive and Castaway. But what he saw in Hollywood and Washington, D.C. changed everything. He'll join Tony Katz for one night of unfiltered stories, sharp insight, and a little bourbon on the side. From Hollywood to the heartland. Saturday, August 23rd at West Fork Whiskey Company. Brought to you by Premier Arms and Boer Remodeling. Tickets on sale now at WIBC.com.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. most insurance accepted.
Potential cannot be measured, and it can't be taken away from you either. You never know how strong you are, how capable, and how amazing you really are until you face a challenge. Our Franciscan Health orthopedic teams guide the steps you take to overcome life's hurdles. Be ready for the high fives, the constant encouragement and care plans designed for only you that help you realize your extraordinary potential. Learn more at franciscanhealth.org/orthocare.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fisher.
MSRP 5220, 36-month term, 2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela of Michaelis. If you have water damage, why should you call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. On call 24/7, 365. We are IICRC certified and will restore your space to pre-loss condition or better. And we work through the entire insurance process on your behalf to make it easy.
Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use.
Go to bwindow.com and receive up to 50% off plus a free patio door.
Because at B-Window,
we mean business.
So the Republicans in the Indiana House are supposed to meet later today to discuss redistricting. It's the Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Jerry Lopez in for Casey. Kevin is here. Indy Star had a big article about the redistricting and the push, and apparently there is this outside group that is calling itself Forward America, and a whole bunch of members of the media said that they had been called, and I guess other people say they had been called, and telling the lawmakers to, quote, stand up for President Trump and support redistricting. But it seems like, at least according to this Star article, there's a whole bunch of Republicans, at least on the House side, who really aren't having too much of it.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of these people come out openly on social media, which is different. It's kind of nice because I feel like you're representing your constituents and not listening to somebody like Charlie Kirk or trying to put you under the big tent circus. We'll see what happens. I think they're going to end up doing it only because everybody's going to do it. And it's going to be a big nothing burger, I think, at the end.
Well, so they interviewed J.D. Prescott. Now, as we found out with the property tax thing, when he lied to us for months, you can trust him about as far as you can throw him. So he'll do whatever his adult supervision in the House tells him to do. But he said, he was quoted saying, I'm a big supporter of President Trump myself, but I think this is too far, and we need to do the right thing here in the state. I think it's a bad precedent. So he will screw you on property taxes when it comes to doing property tax, or closing that school district down that he wanted closed, but he couldn't get it done on his own, so he had to throw it in the property tax bill. He'll screw you there, but he claims on this one, yeah, he's not with you. Now, I can almost guarantee you if Todd Houston went in an emphatic fashion, barked at him about doing redistricting, he'll find a way to do redistricting, because that's the problem. That's what these guys do. There's too many Republicans. Really, there is. To go back to what we said last segment, the best thing for this state would be next year Bo Bai runs for Secretary of State, defeats Diego Morales. That would be the best. If you want to stop this Republican insanity, they've got to start losing some elections, because right now all these people fear is a primary. That's it.
That's fair.
You
win the primary, you win the general.
They have gerrymandered these districts, not just the Congress. I'm talking the state seats, the state Senate seats, House seats, to where as long as they make it through the state for a few swing donut county districts, as long as you make it through your primary, you're fine. So really the only way you get a primary challenge, for the most part, with a few exceptions, is if leadership gets mad at you and decides they're going to fund some township trustee or county council member and give them a whole bunch of money. So they're going to do, these rank and file people, whatever their adult supervision tells them to do. And the way to stop that, if you want to stop it, is make them start losing some elections. And the big one, the big fish next year, where you're going to have a horrible candidate in Diego Morales is that Secretary of State race. And Bo Bai, if he decides to run, will be, in terms of who the Democrats could recruit, probably about the best guy out there.
I mean, I think the reality is if Diego shows up on the election and people keep hitting that straight R, he's going to win.
By the way, speaking of this, where is Diego at on this? Why hasn't he said it? He's the Secretary of State. Why hasn't he commented on redistricting? Why hasn't he said what he thinks? Because he's supposed to be in charge of fair and free elections, right?
Yeah.
That's the big thing, making our elections fair. That's why we have to have all of these.
He should have a statement.
Well,
at least, at minimum, this is part of your job.
Maybe, has he put one out? I mean, he's usually so boisterous about everything. I would have thought if he had a statement on this. Isn't that convenient? He has a statement on all these other things.
My friend, I've been to all 92 counties. I'm the only person who's been to all 92 counties, Robert. Do not talk to me like that.
Why don't you, what was his thing with me? Why don't you focus on the positive things I'm doing? Sure, why don't you come tell me about it? But you got to tell everybody. So, like, several of these state reps, Haggard's in here, and others that have come out against this. This is going to be fascinating to see what they do, because how do you spin it as anything other than politics? And maybe they think there's just enough.
Is this the part we see MAGA break away from Republicans, kind of, right? I mean, that's what we're seeing. Most people would think if Trump wants it, then everybody wants it. But now you're seeing a lot of conservatives go, well, I don't agree with that.
Well, here's probably what a lot of these people think, which is like, and I don't know this for sure, but a guy like Craig Haggard probably says, I know what the district is right now. He's running for Congress, right? He's a state rep. Yep. He's running for Congress. And he probably says, I know deep down, I know what my district looks like. One, I don't want to be drawn out of my district that I'm setting up to run in. That's first and foremost. But two, why would I risk shifting the district if I feel like I can beat the incumbent Baird? He's going to have money. He's going to be able to run. And certainly then once I get out of the primary, if I get out of the primary, I'm home free. In order to draw these maps differently, you're going to start making other districts more competitive. Yep. Like you can't send the Democrats in these districts to a gulag. And if you draw more Republicans in or Republican areas in, you have to draw Democrat areas out, which will make these other districts more competitive.
Yep.
And so I don't even see how they would do this. And I think that's probably why Houston and Bray, Rod Bray and Todd Houston, the leader of the House and the Senate, you can tell they don't want any part of it. What do we get out of this? We got to do all this work. We got to potentially motivate all these people who otherwise wouldn't vote. We got to piss all these people off. And we get nothing other than
got to spend extra money to go to an area you didn't even have when we first started this.
And what do we get out of what? Trump says something nice about us, big whoop. We're state people. Our districts are safe. It doesn't matter. So we'll see. That meeting's today. We'll let you know if we find things out. Hey, speaking of rotten, horrible swamp creatures who everyone wishes would go away, Mike Pence reared his ugly head yesterday. He was on CNN, and we got some audio from him being critical of Trump and Putin. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
The kids are heading back to school, and let's be honest, you're finally getting the house to yourself again, which makes now the perfect time to take care of that roof, siding, or gutters you've been putting off. And Moss Roofing is here to help. Moss Roofing has been helping Central Indiana homeowners for 34 years. They're family-owned, locally rooted, and known for doing things right every single time. Free inspections, honest advice, and top-quality work on roofing, siding, gutters, and windows. They treat your home like it's their own, and they clean up like they were never there. That's why they've got great reviews and a loyal following of happy homeowners. So don't put it off any longer. Let Moss Roofing check your roof, your siding, and your gutters to make sure they're ready for the winter ahead. For your free inspection, call 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at mossroofing.com.
Don Fisher here for QC Kinetics. I want to share with you the best thing I've done for my knee pain. I've been hearing commercials about the groundbreaking treatments that QC Kinetics offers for months. Meantime, my chronic knee pain had hit an all-time high threshold. I wanted to stay active and enjoy playing golf again without the pain. So I decided to call and book an appointment. And what I found out was that QC Kinetics is the non-surgical solution. I have no knee pain and feel like I did 10 years ago. And it's all because of the non-invasive therapy from QC Kinetics.
Discover the solution to joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. For a free consultation, call 463-282-6886.
I'm back to playing golf and enjoying life. Take it from me, this is the best call you can make to relieve your orthopedic pain.
For your free consultation, call QC Kinetics today. 463-282-6886. 463-282-6886.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A boy's tragic death. I'm Jarrett Lewis. This report is brought to you by Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 11:30. IMPD is investigating a 3-year-old boy's death from Sunday evening. He was found unresponsive at a pond at an apartment complex on the northeast side. He later died at a hospital. A shooting happening at the grounds on Central Avenue near 22nd Street in Indianapolis. Jade Eilers told Wish TV that some residents have been renting their units short-term, which isn't allowed.
It's not going to be an isolated incident because something like this can happen again when we're not vetting the people who are in our building where we live, and it's our home.
The Marion County Coroner's Office identified the victim as Xavier Whitlow. Police continue to investigate. AES Indiana is asking for a 13.5% rate hike. Residents will have a chance to speak up at 2 public meetings about it this week. And the Fever complete the largest comeback in franchise history in their win over Connecticut Sunday, 99-93 in overtime. I'm Jarrett Lewis on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
An official message from Medicare.
I turned 65 this year. I knew it was time to figure out Medicare, and I had questions, like when to enroll and how to enroll. So I went straight to the official source, Medicare.gov, to get the facts about Medicare. I found answers to all my questions, and I'm ready to get started. And so can you. Just go to Medicare.gov to get the real facts about Medicare.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
At the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's, walking means so much more. It means fighting for a different future, for families facing the disease today, for treatments. Because when you take part in Walk to End Alzheimer's, you're not just walking, you're fighting to stop the disease. We're closer than ever, but to get there, we need you. Join us for the world's largest fundraiser to fight the disease. Register today at alz.org/walk.
So Mike Pence has reared his ugly, undesirable face from whatever hole he's been hiding in, and he was on CNN. By the way, it's Kendall Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's out today. Jerry Lopez in for Casey. And he was, this will shock you, Jerry, but Mike Pence was on CNN, and we'll play this audio here for you. He appears to be in favor of a never-ending war and perhaps even U.S. forces' involvement in this Ukraine-Russian conflict.
I said it before, I'll say it again. In the long history of the last 25 years, Putin has made it clear. He launched an attack into Georgia when President Bush was in office. He attacked Crimea and Ukraine when Obama was in office. After that disastrous withdrawal in Afghanistan, he crossed the border and started this war 3 years ago. Putin's made it no secret of the fact that he wants to reassert the old Soviet sphere of influence, what we used to call the evil empire in Eastern Europe. And I think Putin only understands strength. So while the president and his diplomatic team engage in this reapproach with Putin, and there seems to be interest, in my judgment, Putin's not going to stop until he's stopped, until he understands that there's going to be enormous cost to Russia, and there's an unflagging commitment to defending Ukraine's sovereignty by the United States and our allies.
It's just the same stuff with this guy, the same guy that voted to go into Iraq. And it's just like it never ends with these people, where they're always willing to send other people's kids to fight and die. They're always willing to spend infinite amounts of money. They're always willing to prop up the military-industrial complex. It's like, just go away, dude. The public has spoken. You need to go away.
Yeah, did you ever think we would be in a time and place where people would be upset that we don't want to go to war? Like, think about that. The uniparty military-industrial complex war machine is such a moneymaker for a lot of these people that are making decisions that they don't want to turn off the faucet, even if it costs the lives of your children.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, if Russia were invading England, okay, you've got, hundreds of years of history of the U.S. and this country cooperating. It didn't start great between the two, but, reliable ally, fought world wars together, etc. Some country that doesn't even like us. This is some country that not too long ago was Team Saddam Hussein. Like, how many times have we done this where we get involved in these conflicts with people that are unreliable and then see Afghanistan within 10 or 15 years, they're killing our guys. They're using our weapons we gave them against us. Like, I don't trust these Ukrainian people at all. I don't think we should even be doing what we're doing, much less this guy's practically advocating to send U.S. troops in tomorrow.
Right. And what happens when this is over? What happens to the billions and billions and billions of ammo and weapons and everything we've given them?
Well, some guy that runs this company goes on a nice vacation, and they end up, like we said, just like in Afghanistan.
And we just hope Ukraine doesn't act up later on, because they'll have all of our stuff.
Absolutely. All right. So Matthew Whitaker, he is the U.S. ambassador to NATO, and he was on, I think this was Fox News he was on. He was talking about this meeting that's taking place today between Trump and Zelensky. Here's what he had to say.
I think it is an important next step in the process, because this war needs to end. There needs to be a peace deal, and the killing needs to stop. And that's been President Trump's #1 goal all along. I think you're going to see, first of all, if Zelensky and his team come to the White House with a proposal, a counter proposal to what Russia proposed in Alaska, that would be an important next step. Obviously, President Trump is mediating this situation, trying to see if he can bring both sides to the table. He has them at the table. Now we got to see if he can bring both sides to an agreement. I think the security guarantees that were mentioned obviously are going to be crucial. Ukraine's going to have to not only understand the security guarantees that they need and explain those to the NATO allies, but the NATO allies are going to have to be willing to step up, and that's why they're at the White House tomorrow as well. And then finally, I think President Trump is going to have to evaluate, based on everything he hears from the Europeans and from Ukraine, as to whether there is a next step to take. And if so, what is that next step? And is it a trilateral meeting with Zelensky, Putin, and President Trump himself? And so, big agenda tomorrow.
If you're Zelensky, like, Lopez, you ever date somebody that was totally out of your league?
I mean, yeah, I think we all have.
I mean, you
got lucky.
Well,
you outkicked your coverage by a lot.
Like, you knew from the moment you saw this person, they're completely out of my league, and then somehow they agreed to go out with you.
I've never been that low. That's harsh.
What do you mean?
It's like charity work. No,
I mean, I'm saying, like, every guy knows their limit, right? Like,
there's something nice about living in some disillusion, you know?
Well, I've told this story for years, that the theory of two, right? Everybody has a number, and everybody should be within 2 of their number based on their physical appearance. And if you're not within 2 of your number, something's amiss. So what I'm asking,
I think I've been able to stay within 2 of my number.
You've never had somebody that was just like like out of your league where you're like, this shouldn't be happening? You never got lucky once where you're. I'm not saying this is a negative.
No, I don't think I know. I mean, I obviously have dated people where I'm like, oh, they are super awesome, different than a lot of people, but never have I been like thankful for the.
I mean, like.
No.
Well, who are
My
you?
mom raised kids with high self-esteem.
Well,
maybe too much.
Brad Pitt over here apparently.
Angelina Jolie's never hollered at me.
I mean, okay.
But a nice Broad Ripple 8 is not out of my league.
Well, way to just kill the bit there, Jerry.
Okay, yes, I've dated a lot of ladies that were doing
it's already
charity
over,
for me.
man. I didn't think I did. Like I said, I didn't know Fabio had graced us with his presence over here. I was not aware that I was in the midst of some guy.
Hey,
who
don't let my confidence offend your insecurities,
always
Rob.
dating down. The premise of the bit, Jerry. Jeez, it's hard enough to do this with Casey. I thought you would get where I was going with this. If you've ever dated somebody completely out of your league, you recognize they kind of call the shots. That's why, what's the old saying? Show me a perfect 10 and I'll show you a guy who's tired of her or whatever,
yeah,
right?
I've heard that.
Because you're lucky to be there.
Yeah.
And that's why that doesn't last very long, because eventually whatever pot of gold that's consistently at the end of that rainbow, it ain't worth the drama that comes with it.
Yeah.
But this is sort of where Zelensky's at, right? He's in a relationship with somebody that's totally out of his league, the United States. We call all the shots, and you sort of got to accept that because that's the relationship you got into. And now that Dad's in charge, in this case Trump, you're gonna have to just go along with whatever we say in the end.
I see what you're saying, and he is dating someone out of his league. The problem for us is that person's best friend has his ear, and that's the U.S. media. So the U.S. media is just doing all the chirping to the people that are out of his league. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for the media, this would have been over a long time ago.
It would have been a great bit if you'd have just played along.
Next time, let me know I need to have lower self-esteem, Robert. Jeez.
Hey, speaking of low self-esteem, Jim Comey, you remember him?
Oh, how could you forget him?
He was the FBI director, the FBI. That was one of the great Married with Children lines where Christina Applegate's describing FBI, and she goes, the FBI guys. Anyway, he made a real video. Like, this is apparently not sort of some prank or he didn't lose a bet and had to do it. This is a real thing. Now, James Comey is almost 65 years old. So this is a grown-ass, almost 65-year-old man who openly admits, and he was in charge of, like, safety and security in this country, the head of the FBI. And here he is openly admitting that he is obsessed with Taylor Swift. Listen to this.
You see, Taylor Swift and I go way back. I went to my first concert of hers 15 years ago. I've been to a second, and I have helped financially support the attendance of a lot of family members at others. Mm-hmm. I'm in a family's Swiftie group chat.
Oh.
I know all her music, and I listen to it in my headphones when I cut the grass.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I have a favorite of hers, although honestly, for me, it's a tie between All Too Well, 10-minute version, and Exile featuring Bon Iver. Taylor Swift has grown up with my family and provided us a soundtrack, really, as we've grown ourselves and learned and adapted and dealt with adversity and celebration. She had songs for all of it. I suspect that's something that millions of Americans have also experienced in their families. I think that's because Taylor Swift produces great art, but also because she models something. At every stage of her career, she's shown a certain way of being that resonated with my kids and also felt right to me as a parent. And she's still doing that as a grown-up.
Okay, so he went on for 5 minutes on this. And I wanted to play the whole 5 minutes, but then I thought I might get charged with a hate crime or something if I forced the audience to listen to 5 minutes.
Super creepy.
It is
super
right?
creepy.
Yeah, because
he sounds like a stalker. We go way back. I went to it. It's like, you don't know her, dude. What do you mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. He's 65, and like Kev will back me up on this. He's the resident musician of the group. A big part of music, people that you're into. I'm not saying like something you just casually listen to on the radio. If you're as weird as this guy is about it, there's got to be some level of identifiability, right? Like you got to find some sort of identifier to consistently listen to someone like he claims to listen to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it sounds like he's her number one fan.
And so when I was in my teens and my 20s, like I felt that way about like dudes that were artists that I saw in myself. Like I could see myself being that guy, like the Bruce Springsteen stuff. Like the guy came from nothing and hard work and perseverance, and he was the hardest working man in the industry, and the people he wrote about. Like That was when I was in my teens and 20s, and that's a dude. He's a 65-year-old man who is finding some solace in some 30-something-year-old woman who the act centers around how much men suck and how she's been wronged by every man she's ever been with. I'm not mad at her. She's made a gajillion dollars doing it. Good on her. But there is something bizarro about a 60-something-year-old guy finding that level of comfort in Taylor Swift music, isn't it?
He probably wants to date Travis Kelce. Like, if we just want to get right to it, like, he wants to be Tay-Tay. He wants Travis. Travis, watch out, man.
This was the head of the FBI.
Yeah. He's also the one that did the, 86-47 on the beach randomly that he saw.
Yeah.
He has a daughter that is a prosecutor that can't win a case to save her life.
Great point, because his daughter was the Epstein.
And Diddy.
Oh, that's right.
She's 0 for 2 on big ones.
Yeah. Okay, so I would not out of bounds by saying that's very weird.
No, it's super creepy.
Okay, very good.
Especially the 10-minute version. What?
Because he knows the versions. Yeah, it's good stuff. Oh, boy. Yeah. Can you imagine you're some international terrorist? Well, we've got a Taylor Swift super fan breathing down our neck here. No chance we're going to get away with this one, Bob. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show back at it this afternoon. Nobody has more fun on the radio than we do. It's Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford will join us, and the biggest stories in Indy.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating. Family owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
As kids go back to school, it's time for you to go back to confidence. We Grow Hair Indy helps men and women regain youthful hair with the latest technology in hair restoration and hair transplants. We Grow Hair Indy helps adults get an A+ in appearance with real lasting hair restoration. Whether you're presenting in the boardroom or coaching from the sidelines, confidence starts on top. The team at We Grow Hair Indy uses industry-leading technology to deliver natural results. So while the kids sharpen pencils, you can sharpen your look. Don't be late. Book your free consultation now. Visit WeGrowHairIndy.com or call 317-522-2995 for your free evaluation. 317-522-2995. Get extra credit for investing in your confidence. While the kids are getting back to school, you can get back to your roots. Visit WeGrowHairIndy.com or call 317-522-2995 and tell them Rob sent you.
The heat outside does not have to be the heat inside. Masters Heating and Cooling is here to help. I use Masters Heating and Cooling in my home. David, the general manager, and the entire Masters team take care of my family. They've replaced parts of my system, serviced parts of my system, and everything is running in tip-top condition. My house feels amazing. Right now, you can get $1,000 off a new AC system. We're talking about a full system replacement here. $100 off electric, $250 off hybrid, and $500 off tankless water heaters. Talk to Masters Heating and Cooling today. They have 0% financing for up to 60 months with qualified system purchases. Terms and conditions for all offers. Restrictions apply. Call for details. Masters Heating and Cooling. They'll take care of your HVAC and help you out 24/7. Call 317-567-9505. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. 317-567-9505. Masters Heating and Cooling. 567-9505 or online at mastersindy.com. That's mastersindy.com.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
You know the face, now hear the stories. Actor Nick Searcy from Justified and Castaway joins Tony Katz for one night only, August 23rd, to talk about how Hollywood and Washington, D.C. led him to the heartland. Tickets at WIBC.com. Presented in part by Just Add Water Boats year-end clearance sale.
A one-hit wonder? What do we call it? I don't know. What do we call Sean Kingston? Anyway, he's a rapper headed to prison. Famous for this song, right? Beautiful Girls.
This song did numbers.
If you were a teenager or in your early 20s, what are you? You're 3 or 4 years older
44.
than me. Yeah, so you're but my age, what I'd have been in my early 20s when this came out. This was the song.
Oh yeah.
And you tried to make every girl believe that life could be like this if they just put their mind to it, because they didn't actually listen to the lyrics. But anyway, he's going to prison. This is a pretty wild story. New York Times with the story. And he is going to prison for 3.5 years in connection with a $1 million fraud scheme in which, according to the Times, he used his celebrity status to obtain high-end merchandise, including a bulletproof Cadillac Escalade from people he did not pay back.
Sounds like Firefest.
What is going on in Sean Kingston's life that he would need a bulletproof Cadillac Escalade?
I mean, if you live in Jamaica, you might be a target if you're filthy rich like that.
He's only 35? By the way, his name is not actually Sean Kingston. I learned that. It's Kessian Anderson.
I'd go by Sean Kingston, too.
Yeah, probably. So, dang. If he's...
How old is he?
He's 35. So he's, 6 years younger than me? Well, yes,
I think he was like 17 when he released that song.
Was he really?
Wow.
Yeah.
So all that stuff that's happening in that song, there's no way. 99, went away from doing my first crime?
No.
There's no way that could have happened.
But it did start, we're walking in the park, so that's a little bit more believable.
Well, that ruins the whole song for me now.
Well, the fact that I was dancing to a 17-year-old's music kind of ruins
that's weird.
Looking back, I was probably like 27.
Look, you gotta...
that sucks, man.
It's a bad look.
Yeah, you know what? I have dated a lot of people out of my league, evidently. I was just a big old loser, Rob.
Well, here's the thing. I was thinking about this driving into work today, not because of this.
Because you had a lot of time to think on the way.
I did. Yeah, the 50-minute venture when I was trying to get past my stop sign or the train tracks or whatever. If you missed, I had an adventurous drive into work this morning. Go back and listen to the podcast to start the show. We talked about it. But life is not about... life's about the end result. It's not how you got there.
That's fair.
And so if you won some girl's heart because this guy, you don't have to be embarrassed by that.
Thank you.
He helped you on your journey.
The more you know,
doesn't
Rob.
matter that he was a high school student. You know?
He was an old soul.
He was the best wingman ever. My mid-20s.
So
Sean Kingston's my Katy Perry for you.
Yeah. Let's see some of these other things. Furnished him with a 232-inch LED television. 232 inch?
I'm trying to think if he misspoke. I'm like, there's no way.
That's what it says here. It's the New York Times. What's the biggest TV you've ever had, Jerry?
Probably like 72, 76-ish.
Wow.
I mean, it's big,
That's
but
a
yeah.
big old television. So that would be about 4 times.
There's no need.
Where would you even put? I mean, this guy had a hit, right? Are there other Sean Kingston songs that I
bet he did features after that with other people. We just don't know.
misremembering?
Yeah.
Like, where would he even own a home in which he could enlist? I mean, you'd have to have a professional put that up for you. At 230, there's no way you're doing that on your own.
You could get a couple amigos, get it up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he might have been.
But
able
that's
to
huge. I mean, that's the window, a TV.
Yeah, because what? There's 12 inches in a foot, right? So we're doing quick math here on the fly. How many feet is that? It's 232 divided by 12. That's 19.3 feet.
That's TV, not projector screen.
No, it's
TV.
a 19-point LED, a 19-point. Kevin, did you find any other hits for Sean Kingston, not Beautiful Girls?
He had a song called "Take You There." I think that was released not too long after that one.
Jerry,
never heard it.
Nothing, right?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
I bet if you might have, if you heard it, if you listened to it, you might recognize it.
Do you know it?
If I listened to it, I think I would.
Are you guessing?
I'm guessing.
See, if you got a guess, it's not a hit, right?
That's fair.
I mean, there are lots of dudes, like the guy who did the Pina Colada song. He had a song called Answering Machine. Rupert Holmes. Yeah. But, I mean, nobody remembers Answering Machine, even though it was technically a top 40 hit. You say Rupert Holmes, you say Pina Colada song, Escape, right? Sean Kingston, Beautiful. Where is he well, I mean, he's scamming it out of people, but what sort of house is this guy living in which he has the ability to house a 19-foot, 3-inch television?
That's huge.
Yeah, anyway, he's going to the prison for
Not
3.5 years.
going to need it.
Yeah. Not going to need it, Mr. Kingston. Wherever you're headed, you won't be needing a 19.3-inch television. All right, so that's going to do it for us today. This has been a fun show. We got a big show tomorrow. We got some very special guests coming in. 3 special guests tomorrow. You're practically going to be stealing money from this company, Jerry. It's so little work for you
I'm
to
back
do.
tomorrow. Let's do it.
We'll let the now convicted Sean Kingston
Sing it with us.
Hey, thanks to Kevin. Great job as always. Thank you to you, Jerry. Thank you to you, the listener. Without you, there is no us. It's Kendall Casey Show, 93 WIBC.
Beautiful girl. That's why it'll never work. You have me suicidal when you say it's over. Damn all these ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down.
Don't let pneumococcal pneumonia break your stride. If you're 50 or older, you're at increased risk. So be proactive with Capvaxive pneumococcal 21-valent conjugate vaccine to help protect against invasive pneumococcal disease and pneumonia caused by certain types of pneumococcal bacteria. Capvaxive helps protect against the strains of bacteria that cause about 30% more IPD cases than any other pneumococcal conjugate vaccine in adults over 50, according to national-level CDC stats. Regional variations may exist. Don't get Capvaxive if you're allergic to the vaccine or its ingredients. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system. Common side effects include injection site reactions, feeling tired, headache, muscle aches, and fever. Capvaxive does not protect against all strains. For more information, call 1-800-927-8888 or visit capvaxive.com. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Capvaxive. Need help paying for your Merck vaccine? Visit merckhelps.com. Sponsored by Merck.
Zillow ranks Indianapolis number 2 among 2025's hottest markets. Home values have risen and are holding strong. Now is a great time to sell. Hire the team with proven systems to maximize your equity. Sell your home with Mark Dietl. Maybe you want a fast, guaranteed, no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Sarah in Fountain Square had to say about working with Mark Dietl. After investing in a property in Fountain Square, I ran into some financial trouble and needed to sell the place fast for maximum dollars. I hired the Mark Dietl team, and they were able to sell my property within weeks over list price. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Booher. BOOHER, BooherRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Booher. BOOHER, BooherRemodeling.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up, 3 days after hosting Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska.
So we are going to be not contributing in any way to
waking up to that and knowing that there's
to honor the new Frank Shady Fieldhouse.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
What's happening at the White House today? Sunny skies over downtown Indianapolis, 82 degrees going up to 89. I'm Ryan Hedrick, and here's what's trending at noon. Ukraine's president and several European leaders are meeting with President Trump today to discuss a possible peace agreement.
3 days after hosting Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska, President Trump is welcoming Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and several European leaders to discuss possible peace agreements. Ahead of the meetings, President Trump on Truth Social wrote, "I'll get it done. I always do," claiming to have settled 6 wars during his second term. Zelensky says Ukraine is ready to work productively to reach peace, but warns Russia can only be forced into peace through strength.
And that's Fox's Jared Halpern reporting at the White House this afternoon. In Florida, an illegal immigrant truck driver has been charged with 3 counts of vehicular manslaughter after a crash that killed 3 people. He got a driver's license under a 2013 California law that allowed people to get a license regardless of their immigration status.
California should not have provided this person the driver's license and a permit, not just for a car, but to drive large-scale trucks, to then drive into Florida, engage in this dangerous behavior and take the lives of 3 others is really a tragedy.
And that's Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer speaking with Fox News earlier today. You've probably heard that Indiana is setting up an immigration detention center at the Miami Correctional Facility near Peru. Some people are calling it the Speedway Slammer. Governor Mike Braun says he supports President Trump's deportation plan.
So we are going to be not contributing in any way to be a sanctuary state. And if we do have facilities, we're going to make sure that they're usable.
And Braun told Wish TV's All Indiana Politics that there's no date set for the facility to open. He also did not explain how the state will be reimbursed by the federal government for the operation. A domestic disturbance in northern Utah Sunday night left 2 police officers dead and a 3rd injured, along with a police canine.
Officers from 2 different departments responding to multiple 911 hang-ups Sunday night in Tremonton, about an hour north of Salt Lake City, when a man opened fire, initially killing 1 officer.
A second officer with Tremonton Garland Police Department responded to assist the first and was immediately fired upon by the same male suspect.
Brigham Police Chief Chad Reyes says a Box Elder County Sheriff's deputy and a canine were also shot and continue to be treated. The suspect now in custody on murder charges, no IDs yet, and no motive.
And that's Fox's Jeff Manasso reporting. What Indianapolis police said after responding to a missing child call Sunday. AES Indiana's update on a rate increase and how Indiana Pacers guard Tyrese Halliburton is giving back. Those stories and more next on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today, President Trump meets with Zelensky and European leaders. Can they get Zelensky to make the deal? After the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
And WIBC News Time is 12:03. A strike by Air Canada flight attendants is causing flights to be disrupted around the world. Air Canada was forced on Sunday to press pause on its plan to resume limited service after the union representing flight attendants told members to defy a government order to return to work. Indy Metro Police are looking into how a 3-year-old boy ended up in a pond on the northeast side of the city Sunday. Here's Jarrett Lewis.
Officers being called to the complex Sunday evening just before 7. The mother told them she came home to find her child gone. She checked her door cam and saw the child had left on their own. That's when she went out to look for them, eventually getting help from a neighbor who located the child unresponsive near a pond. CPR was administered and the child taken to a hospital but died there. Police say the father of the child was home at the time of the incident. CPS is now in contact with the family as the investigation continues. Jarrett Lewis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A boy shot and killed inside an Indianapolis apartment complex where police say they were using it as an Airbnb despite management banning short-term rentals. A resident told Wish TV the news is disturbing.
Waking up to that and knowing that there's Airbnbs happening in this building, and that was not something I was made aware of.
And she spoke with Wish TV. The Marion County Coroner's Office identified the boy as Savion Whitlow. AES Indiana proposing a nearly 14% increase in electricity rates, and Indy residents are sharing their feedback at 2 public meetings, or at least